the greedy. Weakened and exposed. Forever on the defense. But no longer.
Hello, my friends, and welcome. It is time. Big announcements today. And on top of that, of course, we're going to be having a King of the Hill stream to keep things going for the rest of the day. But nonetheless, we shall begin today's stream answering questions and talking about the Everchosen, what the future holds, and what is going to be going on for the next one. So certainly very excited. Hope you're all doing well, guys. I see many folks have joined here quite early, so let's go ahead and have some fun, man. Let's party. So let's talk about Everchosen. In the past, the Everchosen Invitational, as the name was often spoken, you could infer by the title that it was indeed an invitational. So essentially, players would be invited. It was not an open qualifier, and it was very more of a showcase kind of limited format in that way. But things are going to be changing big time, which I'm very excited about. Some of you may have already seen this. Of course, in the Discord communities, we have had a couple discussions about this and have had qualifiers be posted already. But I sound so tired. Yes, my lovely wife is here explaining the reason. Yes, it's time, guys. So from here on out, how the Everchosen is going to be working is that the top 4 winners from the previous Everchosen will be invited back. So essentially those folks who got first, second, third, and fourth place will get an invite back. They may not accept, and if they don't, we'll just have an additional qualifier to replace them, essentially. But the top 4 players from previous Everchosens will be given a chance to come back and defend their strap. But the next 4 spots are going to be done through a qualifier system, which I am so damn excited for. It is something I've been pushing for so long. It is super hyped. So how it's going to work, the first qualifier is going to be hosted by Dov Plays, and that's actually this Sunday. So if you guys are interested in playing in the qualifiers or just want to watch it, you're going to be able to see it on Sunday, October 4th. Now, the start time of the event is a little bit different. That's why I don't have it here on all these various kind of pictures, because they can start at various times. Players typically start, a 60, 70, 80-man tournament early in the morning. It can start at 1 p.m. as far as the stream goes, or 10 a.m. Like, you never know. So basically, the main thing to do is just to be subscribed to these various channels, and you guys are going to be able to see what's going on there. So the first qualifier is going to be Sunday, October 4th, and that's going to be with Dob Plays. The second one, I'm going to be hosting for people who have different work schedules. A lot of people obviously work on weekends and might have a little bit of an alternative schedule or be in different time zones. So I'm going to be hosting the second qualifier during the week. It's going to be someday between Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Nonetheless, if you guys just stay tuned to the community section and my Discord announcements, you guys will get updates as it pertains to when that's going to be. The third qualifier is going to be hosted by my son, Herbert Walker. That's going to be Saturday, October 10th. And of course, you can see that over on his Twitch channel, twitch.tv/mysonhw. So you can see all their various channels here. Make sure to head over. I'm going to be watching all these so we can have a bit of a watch party together. And the fourth qualifier is going to be hosted by Everchosen. So that's going to be the last qualifier, your last chance to get in. So if you guys want to play in the Everchosen Invitational, now's your chance. You're going to have 4 chances to qualify. These are open tournaments using the banner rules. So same rule set we use on my channel. And yeah, here's the chance, man. It's going to be great. So again, Dov will be hosting the first one. I'll be hosting the second one. My son, Herbert Walker the third, and Aerocrastic going to be closing us out with the glorious qualifier on October 11th. And the winner of each qualifier will be earning a spot to play in the next Everchosen Invitational, which of course you guys know is a pretty fun event. It's a good time. It's a good time indeed. We don't, of course, have a date for the future Everchosen yet, but I was in communication with some folks at CA. And basically, they gave us the green light to do these qualifiers so that whenever there is another Everchosen, the players will be ready. And it's also a really cool way to get the community involved. Now everyone can play. We have so many great creators from across the community hosting these tournaments. It is going to be badass indeed. And yes, indeed, you can sign up. So if you just join the multiplayer Discord, if you look in the description of this stream, you'll notice there's a link which I have updated today to my multiplayer Discord. If you join there and then go to the upcoming tournament section, you're going to be able to find Dov's tournament and Aerocrastics, which have already been posted. My son, Herbert Walker, and I have not posted ours yet, but they'll be getting posted in the next few days. So they're completely open to sign up. You, of course, have to have an account on Challenge. You have to follow the banner rules and, all the sportsmanship and all that sort of good stuff. But anyone can join. It's going to be super hyped, guys. So hopefully that answers your question. Your questions. You guys have any questions about the event? I am very, very hyped for sure. I think, making a format truly competitive, it needs to be open in some respect. And I think this is a step forward to making the Everchosen an even more special event. And yeah, it's going to be great, man. So many awesome hosts here in the communities. So we'll see what happens. And yes, you can attempt to qualify as many times as you want. So if you are playing in the, let's say you play in Dov's qualifier and you don't make it, you can then try to qualify again in my qualifier, my son's qualifier, or Aerocrastic's qualifier as well. So you can try as many times as you want. I mean, up until, the fourth one, obviously, and then that's the last one. But that is it. That is it indeed. So let us see if we're ready for the King of the Hill. Looks like we are. So, hey guys. Zyphos, yeah. Do the pick 3. Zyphos can start. All right. Who can stop King of the Dead if he's not lagging? I don't know. It's certainly a fearsome question. All right, so let's go to the local recording here. Get this King of the Hill all set up. So there are the details regarding the Everchosen. I'll be going over them over the course of the stream. So one sec. So you pick 3 Zyphos. He bans 1 and picks. Then you go. We have a donation coming in as well. Sorry, I missed that. Coming in from Ronnie. He says, another awesome Everchosen on the horizon, and behind it, the glorious third game looms ever closer. Thanks for the great content. Keep it going. I will, man. Thank you so much for your support. Thank you. Thank you. And yeah, now the players are going to be doing their picks and bans. As far as King of the Hill today, we're going to be doing the standard format. The last couple of King of the Hills were the Wheel of Fortune, which obviously, it's fun, but I'm sure players want to play factions they, like to play and that they practice. So today's King of the Hill is going to be a standard format. Players will just be picking and banning as we usually do in the King of the Hills and whatnot. So, is Lady Turn about to lay the smackdown here? Looks like it. Yeah. We're good indeed. Welcome, welcome, my friends. So we have Xiphos versus Valkonos in our first game. Coming up after that, we have Gabo Slayer, Happy Puppy, Anticity, Zablaski, This Is the Way, Outer Region, King of the Dead, JK, Mole Spaghetti, Monty. We may get past that. Usually in these King of the Hills, I do go through 10 to 12 players, especially since we're not generating their factions. They're going to be taking their time here to get things going. So, and yeah, anyone can play in Everchosen. Like, it's completely open. Again, if you're a newer player, you're probably going to, have some trouble in the early rounds and, get eliminated, but it's good. It's good practice, man. It's a very fun community experience. A lot of people are going to be streaming. A lot of people are going to be watching it. It's going to be awesome. Asheraya, thank you so much for becoming a member here on the channel. Much appreciated. Welcome to the Dukes of Haggard. May they welcome you into this glorious legion. Asheraya, thank you so much. And we got a donation from Paul for $5.86. Where's Kislev, guys? Is there a bear chariot fueled by pierogi? Dude, that'd be sweet. Yeah, I know. Kislev's going to be awesome. I am super excited. Yeah, man, just give us game 3 already. Quit teasing us. All right, so let's go ahead and say you guys got 5 minutes to pick. Good luck, have fun. Ready up ASAP. So I'll try and keep the pace going a little bit faster today with picks and bans so that we can make sure to get as many players in as possible. So Nolo, today we're not using like the banner rules pick and ban system for King of the Hill. We're just using the old one. But yeah, banner rules has had some updates to the pick and ban system. Correct. Which, of course, if you guys are planning on joining and getting into the multiplayer tournament, all that sort of good stuff, before you play, you should go look at the banner rules. Take a look at the single entity rules, the attacking rules, and then also for the factions you're playing or you want to play, I would familiarize yourself with the limitations those factions have in the banner rules. Because again, that's going to be a big factor as it pertains to those tournaments and whatnot. So there you guys go. We're doing it, man. So it looks like it's going to be Norska. All right. Looks like Valkonos is ready, and I also had my Wood Elf build ready. He's ready. Xiphos, of course, a former ECL champ himself, is going to be coming in hot here with his Wood Elves, who we know are very, very scary indeed. On top of that, guys, tomorrow we have another stream. We have the ECL Grand Finals. So tomorrow is going to be the Grand Finals for my 5th season of the Eternal Challenger League. Very excited for that. Very excited indeed. So thanks again for joining today, guys. And it looks like the players might be ready. Xiphos has let me build. I'm very curious. I want to look at the builds, but I don't want to spoil it for myself. I do not want to spoil it. But yeah, man, this new Everchosen format's going to be so good. I'm really excited to have this, big community-based effort, right? We're going to be having, all these hosts, that normally do their own events kind of working together on one big event, which I think is pretty epic for sure. And, it's a model that I hope to keep going forward. And yeah. What's up, Jedi Mazda Muddy? Dactor says, let's see if Xiphos does his forest box thing he likes to do against Chaos. Yeah, maybe against Norska. We are in Angui. There's plenty of trees here for the Wood Elves to hide in. So to counterplay that, Norska, of course, can bring, some big boys himself. Like, even a single, big Wolfric on a Mammoth, for example, can fight the trees. But Durthu is pretty scary. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe Xiphos will go for the Wood Elf box in the trees. Or something even more unorthodox. Zacky Wacky Productions, if you have any rules pertaining to the questions, I would just ask them in the Discord. Aerocrastic is in the process of releasing a new set of rules, which I believe he's putting out today and finalizing or in the next couple days. So just stay tuned for that. They'll be updated before the first qualifier, which is on Sunday, though. So yeah, whatever the most modern rendition of the rules is that he has linked in there, those will be the rules you'll be using. So yeah. So that's that. Yes, indeed. Zablaski, I'm glad you like the format, and I hope to see you trying to qualify for the Everchosen, man. You always do really well in my tournament, so it'd be a pleasure to cast your games. All right, guys, and here we are. We're on Angui for our first battle. Should be quite a bit of fun. We got Xiphos the Legend, the Wood Elf hero. Going to be playing his Woodies, facing off against Norska and Valkonos. Valkonos probably going to be coming in with some Condom Wolves and a bunch of Marauders. Probably not too much in the way of troop quality, mainly just baseline Marauders and things like that do the trick, but we will see how this glorious battle unfolds. Sounds good, Blade Spirit. Sounds good. Do not disrespect the box. Xiphos is not going to be going for a box, is he? Yeah, he is. Okay, so here's the thing. This build is very annoying to play against, I have to admit. So, you know, Norska is a faction that's really, really, really good at rushing. Have you guys, look at the balance of power. It's like already Norskin favored. I don't know if I've ever, like, Beastmen usually have that, but that's pretty egregious. Like, did Zyphos just not spend some money or something? Yeah. I don't know, man. Anyways, guys, it's going to be Hawk Riders. Hawk Riders are, you know, obviously have some decent range DPS against light armor, which Norska has a ton of. So Zyphos is going to be flying in and trying to poke the Norskin skirmishers, but it looks like Valkanos was very, very ready for this. Holy shit, look at this. He's got an unholy legion of horsemen and horsemasters. So these guys, of course, will be a decent counter skirmishing tool here against Hawk Riders, at least keep them busy. We got a donation from Paul. Not donation, but a Duke of Haggard. Paul, welcome to the Dukes of Haggard. Paul is an awesome name, by the way. I know many great men named Paul. Thank you so much, Paul, and welcome to the Dukes of Haggard. Michael Isaac, I think I missed the announcement, but I caught Zyphos Wood Elf, so I'm happy. Michael Isaac, thank you for the 25 Canadian dollars, man. And your dream has indeed come true, as you are going to be getting your boy Zyphos here with the Wood Elves. So yeah, he does have Durthu. He's going for a box, basically. So what he does is he attacks with the Hawk Riders, and he just lurks in the trees here with his Eternal Guard and his Treekin and his Durthu, and that's pretty much it, man. Durthu just summons Manticores, and the Branch Wraith heals the box, and he obliges the attacking rules using the Hawk Riders and different things like that. So yeah, so that's that. And as far as the force goes here for Valkanos, he's just got a shit ton of horsemen. Horsemasters, Battle Line, and Marauders, which will trade pretty well with Eternal Guard. He's got some condom wolves just to deal with mobility, and Wolfric. So, not Wolfric, no, Marauder Chieftain, actually. Interesting. I feel like Wolfric would be the better choice for Hunter of Champions on like a Durthu, and also having Seafang against boxes is really good. But he does also have Burning Head and Fireball to kind of try and break that box and things like that. So, yeah, it's certainly a strong build from both players. I can see the Norskins doing well for themselves if they play it like really, not carefully per se, but if they are able to get the proper engagements with their horsemen and horsemasters on top of the Hawk Riders. Because from there, you know, the Mammoth is going to certainly be causing a lot of problems, and if the horsemen can also throw at Durthu here, it could be a big issue. And, you know, Wardens of Sithril could get wrecked by a really good Burning Head. Wouldn't it be cool if, like, a Burning Head going through the trees here would actually, like, light the forest ablaze? I think that'd be really cool. Yeah, man, I don't know if I can't remember the last time I've seen the Norskin bounce of power like this, but a couple of folks in chat saying this is very normal to have the bounce of power be like that egregious. That's pretty serious for sure. The Chieftain has an item to give him fire damage, does he? Let's go ahead and take a look here. So yeah, I don't use the Marauder Chieftain often. I don't really play Norska too much, but yeah, look at that. He's got the Flaming Axe of Cormac. Pretty gangster stuff. These are the days of great power. The tribes of the north, the beasts of the forest, and the great prince of Karnath will baptize this world in blood. Well, that sounds pretty serious. But it also imbues, like you guys said, fire damage. So yeah, you can get that fire damage against the trees. So now Valkanos is going to be screaming forward using his Marauder Horsemasters. And getting a little bit of poke on those Hawk Riders. Hawk Riders definitely don't want to be getting hunted by these guys. They are very fast though. They have 110 speed, so they can usually outmaneuver Marauder Horsemasters, or at least do their thing. Paul says, Turin, you support me when I'm working, so I support you when you work. Hey man, appreciate it. Got you covered. Wyden, thank you for saying happy birthday. Though it is not my birthday, I will graciously accept those kind words and the gesture that is inferred by wishing me happy birthday. Thank you guys. Really appreciate that, Wyden. And here you can see the Hawk Riders taking some poke and stroke for sure. Valkanos is probably going to want to get up there and move underneath them. Because yeah, Zyphos is just going to happily cackle in his box here. Get out Mule, Turin stream, best way to kick off the weekend. Thank you for the $5 donation, Get out Mule. Hope to see you in the qualifiers, man. Some impressive Skaven play from you in the previous events we've seen you in. Thank you again. Marauder Horsemen still throwing downtown, getting some decent poke against the Hawk Riders, like I said. Honestly, it's a bit of an even trade. Ammunition could become a factor here for the Hawk Riders. Granted, it looks like they have a pretty good surplus here. And the Norskin force is just advancing happily. No real damage coming in. I think the big factor is going to be getting Burning Heads. Like, juicy Burning Heads need to go down 100%. And both players kind of benefiting from the trees to an extent. The Norskin Horde is hiding in the trees with their Horsemasters, which does obstruct some of the Hawk Rider fire. The thing about Hawk Riders is they're actually not terrible in melee. 25 melee attack, but really decent weapon strength at 45 with a really, really good AP value. So potentially the Hawk Riders getting a surround on like a Mammoth, like in great numbers with Durthu support, could be something that could threaten him. But yeah, we'll see. It's pretty cool that all this fire damage is imbued too. The Sword of Cormac or the Blade of Cormac. Why am I not seeing it? Does it just imbue fire damage on the Mammoth? I thought it might be like an allied effect. Okay, so it's just self. Okay, so it's not as good as I thought. Still not bad for sure, because it does put the Mammoth weapon strength up pretty high, and of course it gets the melee attack buff and all that, but not too crazy. So it looks like an Earthblood has been baited out here, going down. Durthu does, of course, have Manticore summon, so we have to be kind of cognizant of that. Jedi Mazda Muddy. Yeah, we should be in 1080p, but yeah, it doesn't look like it. I don't really know what the issue is. I've kind of played with a lot of my streaming software. It looks like the quality is more akin to like 720. But nonetheless, I'll take a look at it. I probably need to talk to someone with some technical expertise, but I don't know why. It's very, very strange for sure. Anyway, Zyphos just kind of chilling in the trees for now, being very, very cautious for sure. And here you can see the Marauder Horsemen are going to be circling about, just poking in. But, you know, Valkanos needs to be very careful to conserve his ammo here. Zyphos is quite happy to kind of run him dry, and then from there, you know, if the Norskins will have to come in. A very common tactic, too, with this kind of style of Wood Elf play is to not shoot with all of your Hawk Riders. Have, like, you know, 4 or 5 of them shoot. So then when they do run out of ammo, you have one that still can obey the attacking rules, and you can try and out-ammunition your opponent. It's kind of a dirty tactic, but, you know, it can do its thing. All right, so let's go ahead here and get the sound on. Thank you guys so much. I got you covered. I got you covered. So Norsca, I definitely think needs to get in there, like get the Marauders in there, start getting some burning heads, get the Mammoth kind of pounding into the Wardens of Sithrul. There needs to be a little bit more Norscan aggression. Granted, Norsca isn't doing a bad job picking off the Hawk Riders, especially since they're kind of staying in formation here. Not too many models have been lost yet, but nonetheless, the Hawk Riders are going to start taking some big damage here, but so are the Norskins too. You can see the Marauder Horsemen and the Horse Masters are, you know, the DPS is starting to add up, and oh man, a huge burning head! Oh, the brutality! Those Eternal Guard just get eviscerated. Now, it didn't get the Wardens of Sithrul, but those Eternal Guard might just break. 1 leadership, 4 leadership, definitely a brutal burning head right there. Definitely a brutal, brutal burning head. So we will see how that goes. We will see how that goes indeed. So here the Shaman Sorcerer of Valkanos does get gooned. That's actually a huge play from Zyphos. If that Shaman Sorcerer is completely shattered, which it is, that's going to be a pretty substantial problem for sure. We're not on Ultra Funds. No, we should be. Are we on Ultra? Are we on Ultra Funds right now? Oh, we are. Oh, shit. Yeah, we are on Ultra Funds. Oh, man. Okay, I didn't notice that. Well, regardless, we'll change it after the battle's over. I don't know why. My settings should be on Large Battle. Maybe one of the players has it on Ultra, or they both do or something. Nonetheless, we'll have to take a look. But yeah, so you guys are getting an Ultra Funds battle. It's King of the Hill, so it's a casual format anyways, but it is what it is. So yes, the glorious Ultra Funds is here. The Hawk Rider's up in the sky, but again, Ultra Funds does go both ways. So the Horse Masters have 60 models instead of their usual 45, and Hawk Riders get, I think, quite a bit more as well. And if you guys are looking to see the announcement, you can jump back to the beginning of the stream where we went over that. It was at the very, very beginning. So Marauder Chieftain here getting his, you know, hands dirty here, fighting against Durthu. I don't know why it was on Ultra Funds. Unit, yeah, not funds, but unit scale is Ultra Funds, yeah. I don't know, nobody noticed it, I guess. Yeah, very, very strange. So now it looks like the Hawk Riders up in the sky are just going to be sitting on the Marauder Chieftain, who is going fisticuffs with Durthu. Durthu, of course, you know, pretty formidable combatant. And, you know, in the early days of Warhammer 1 and Warhammer 2, this big tree was considered to be one of the best kind of pound-for-pound duelists in the game in terms of, like, monster fights. Him and Kolek were kind of the benchmarks. Of course, Kolek is a lot more mobile, but he doesn't have access to magic or Manticore summoning or various things like that. But Norsca is still grinding in here. Horsemen are throwing in and doing a little bit of damage. It looks like they're going after maybe the Wardens of Sithrul. It's a little bit hard to say. Yeah, I'm really curious about the Chieftain pick. He does bring the magic, the fire damage to the table when his Flaming Blade of Cormac is available, but it looks like when his leaderships below a certain threshold, the blade just is like, all right, I don't need to be on fire anymore. The blade can be turned off. Zyphos running really low on ammo, though. So despite the fact that it looks like the Widow box is holding very well, there's still a ton of Skin Wolves, and you can see the Beasts of Tashnar. They actually are anti-large hounds, so the Beasts of Tashnar are going to be coming in here, and though they don't have the best AP, you know, the anti-large bonus will help them chew through a lot of the Treekin HP, especially since many of the Hound models are getting very good kind of concave attacks here on the Treekin. So we'll see how that unfolds for those bad boys. We will see indeed. The Hawk Riders, in the meantime, flying overhead, doing their thing, and the Horse Masters and Horsemen still continuing to unleash javelins into the Treekin here. Treekin getting kind of low, actually. I mean, the big thing for Valkanos is to make sure he doesn't lose that Marauder Chieftain. The Marauder Chieftain's been having a bit of a rough run of things, being attacked now by a Feral Manticore and also by all the Hawk Riders, who are very, very low on ammo. But remember, the Hawk Riders can actually simply attack in melee, which they'll probably do. Which, if Valkanos had some, like, Norscan, you know, Condom Wolves here, or obviously the Skin Wolves as they're actually called, to rally this Mammoth, that'd be really, really nice. Beasts of Tashnar are actually here. Beasts of Tashnar can tear apart Hawk Riders in melee. But it looks like the Norscan Horde is taking some huge damage here in the trees. Obviously, Skin Wolves don't want to be fighting here. This battle is very reminiscent of what we saw in the Everchosen Grand Finals, actually, between Slaxla and Soothsayer and Felcon. Soothsayer did pretty much the same exact thing. He had his Empire army kind of chilling in the tree line and used Pistoliers to force the Norscan Hordes of Felcon to attack in Game 5. So very similar situation. I know there's been some updates to the forest, like using the forest in that way. I'm not really sure, but nonetheless, we'll have to take a look at that. Yeah, losing the caster and not having Wolfric, I mean, that was really bad. The caster is your biggest issue there. I mean, it wasn't bad on Valkanos' part. There wasn't much he could do to stop that, but yeah, so we'll fix the unit size here, guys, but nonetheless, you get an ultra fun battle here for the first one. Xiphos will be our first winner. And do I need to add a score? Hey, Clintbet, thank you for the 50 SDK, man. And Ricky says, thank you for being a pillar of the Warhammer community. You rock, dude. Happy birthday. Hey, man, I really appreciate that. Those are some kind words, you guys. Really appreciate that indeed. So, unit scale is set to ultra for some reason. I will need to rehost. Xiphos, check your settings also. All right. Oh, is boxing in the... So, is that an... Hey, Juice, is that correct? Yeah, it's a rule break? Okay. Oh, actually... Valkanos, we got a rematch because forest camping like that is against the rules now. Yeah, so apparently, yeah, the new... I think the rules were just updated, so I'm a little bit kind of behind on that. The funds are large. Yeah, funds are totally normal. Host controls unit scale. Okay, that's weird. So let me go ahead and rehost. Yeah, so guys, we'll replay it. No problem. So let me go here and go to options. Why are my settings on ultra? Oh, because I had it auto. That's stupid. Yeah, so I basically was like... I did the recommended settings yesterday to get like my graphics optimized, and then it changed it to ultra. Okay. Okay, so there's a new update which have changed the rules because that used to be legal what Xiphos did there, but it's not anymore. So we'll go ahead and rehost that bad boy. All right, Valkanos and Xiphos, that is a warm up. It's certainly a pretty unfun thing to play against. I think I agree with that. Like, yeah. All right, guys. Valkanos is back in. We'll do a map here that discourages such play, just to be safe. Do some Oakenhammer. Xiphos joined back up, no problem. So we'll go ahead and reset the King of the Hill here. Yeah, because that's actually how Soothsayer won the Everchosen against Falcon, was that same rule. But yeah, it's been changed. All right, so can repick if you guys want. See the new banner rules, Xiphos, if need be. So yeah, we'll let the players repick. It's King of the Hills casual. We're not going to be like, oh, you get punished for rule breaking here. It was an honest mistake. Xiphos hasn't been playing that much. Yeah. All right, guys. And there we go. So yeah, I'm not really sure about the specifics, but I think it has something pertaining to, like if Xiphos had regular skirmishers attacking, I think it is more with flyers, like having flying units harass while you camp in a forest. Yeah, it's something. I'll have to take a look though. Yeah. The ECL Grand Finals are going down tomorrow, actually. So you guys are going to be seeing that tomorrow morning, which of course will have our top 4 players. And if you guys want to see who's in it, we can switch on over to the bracket real quick. Yeah, Xiphos was just saying he didn't know if it was live in the rules now, but it is now. So they're going to replay the match, just similar stuff. If we go to the 4-man bracket, no, it's going to be an 8-man bracket. Hold on, no, it's Faction War, 4-man bracket. Yeah, so the ECL Grand Finals are going to be tomorrow. Yeah, so we got Flying Taco versus Zach Bisane in the first round, and then we have Anticity versus Fistek to determine who's going to be in the Grand Finals and who will be fighting for the ECL Grand Championship. Yes, should be quite a bit of fun, man. I'm super hyped. All right, so now we can switch back to the local recording, get this party started. And the players are going to repick their armies, which is fine, and it's great. You know, it gives a chance for more people to get to the stream, so no stress. No stress indeed. Yeah, and a lot of people don't know, actually. Yeah, forests do have a pretty substantial impact on battle, especially with large units who take a penalty fighting in the trees. So, like just imagine if we get Ogre Kingdoms in Game 3 and you could just camp in the forest, they would have like 0 chance, right? Because their units are going to be large. It's just like, You can utilize the forest, but you have to also be obliging other things. It's a tricky thing to balance, guys, but you know, it's a work in progress, so bear with us. Forest squatting felt on brand for Widows. Yeah. All right, so now we're back, guys. Players are picking. I would imagine Valkanos probably will rethink his army, perhaps seeing some of the issues it may endure. Because Wood Elves can honestly do that in open field, too. Like, Xiphos could camp in open field. It's not like you get many of the same things, but you just don't get the trees blocking enemy missile attacks and obviously penalizing large units from fighting. So things like Skin Wolves and Mammoths are all taking a penalty when they're fighting in the trees there, so... Yeah. Yeah, I mean, whatever. You know, Hagbane Tips certainly can kite Norska pretty well. Hey, Turin would ever make an awesome video explaining all the tournament rules for ECL? Yeah, I'm actually going to have a podcast subject on that. I'm not sure. I might record it in the next few days. I think that would actually be really good. Maybe I'll hit up Aerocrastic and we could record that. I think it'd be a good time to go over all that. Anticity says only takes maps with no forest. It's solved, I know. I like some light terrain. The problem with a lot of maps in Total War Warhammer 2 is they're not balanced. One side will have a terrain advantage, or one side will have more obstructing terrain. The other side won't have any. Yeah, there's a lot of tricky stuff. Yeah. There's a lot of tricky stuff. So Valkanos preparing his forces. Perhaps I could bring up the Condom Wolf advertisement to let me see the army. I'm actually genuinely curious if he's going to change it. Xiphos certainly making some massive changes to his army. This looks more like the Xiphos of old. High micro, high business. Anticity's like, yes, please. I like my flat maps for reasons. Of course you would. The Dread Pirate Lord, Anticity. Anticity, I'm excited to see you play tomorrow, man. How you feeling about tomorrow's matches versus Fistek? All battles should be on MP Crossroads, dude. That is just absurd. All right. Go time. Trying to keep the players moving. We're trying to do it. All right, so it looks like Valkanos is ready. Xiphos making some final tweaks to his army. I can tell he's just like, he wants to bring certain things, but he's like, I probably shouldn't do that. Yeah. Yeah, there's definitely some unbalanced maps. I mean, even some of the more competitive mainstays, like maps we use a lot, do have some issues, depending. It's more faction-based. Like, certain factions can really abuse things more than others. Like Dwarves especially, if you have any map that has, like, a terrain piece they can hug against, it basically denies you an entire flanking opportunity, which is brutal, because then the Dwarves can just overload their defenses on one flank. Yeah. Tomorrow's stream is going to be at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Anticity says, been training day in and day out for the ECL. Going to give it your best shot. That's what I like to hear, man. What a champ. What a champ indeed. Well, I believe in you, man. It's going to be great. You and Fistek should have a glorious duel, I'm sure. So, guys, if we take a look here, this is the proper start of the King of the Hill, guys. Game sound should be on. It's on. Yeah. Game sound is on, don't worry. It should be, at least. Yeah. Yep, it's on. I just had to zoom in and check. You guys are giving me nightmares about the game sound. Essence of Chaos is all we need. That's one of my favorite maps, actually. Just let them club each other in close quarters. So for Valkanos' army, it's baseline Marauders. 4 of those bad boys. And yeah, you don't need much more. They're shielded, they're cheap. You know, you have other tools for killing Wood Elf infantry, like Mammoths. So he went with the exact same build, more or less. He brought Marauder Chieftain, he brought a Shaman Sorcerer of Fire, he brought triple Condom Wolf, and they're great against Wood Elves. Obviously, Wild Riders can crump them pretty good. They're low armored and, you know, relatively squishy in the melee defense department. But still, if they get the proper engagements with support, or are able to countercharge themselves, or survive such engagements with their healing, they can come back and really win you the game. So yeah, we also have a bunch of Marauder Horsemen and Horsemasters. We have the Norskin Warwolves, Warhounds, and that's pretty much going to be it. So now for the force of Xiphos, obviously his army has changed a lot. We have a Glade Lord, we have 2 groups of Way Watchers, triple Wild Rider, and in his back line, it's going to be kind of a layer of Spears and Dryads. You know, this is what I like to see, man. This is the good stuff here, baby. The Xiphos old school, coming in with the Way Watchers and the really, really masterful Wild Rider play. That's been one of his kind of staples, seeing how truly effective he is here with these Wild Riders and, winning, good engagements there. Everchosen Qualifier, only Chaos factions. That would be pretty funny. Especially considering the Chaos factions are like the factions that haven't been updated, so it would be like super haggard. Watchers are tricky for sure. Norska has some really good pursuit tools. Skin Wolves, Hounds, the Horsemen can obviously do some work. No, it's not an Ultra. It's not. We're on the correct size now, so you can see 45 Way Watchers. Yeah, that was pretty ridiculous. Anyways, the Dragons of Xiphos moving forward, the Wild Riders as well, as are the Way Watchers, and Valkanos here. Going to be pushing up here with his glorious Hounds, and here comes the Arrow of Kurnus. Xiphos very much going to be doing the same thing, trying to snipe the caster early, which is smart. Although against his current build, the Firecaster isn't going to be as punishing, but honestly for Valkanos, probably just blasting fireballs out is going to be his best bet. Xiphos with a really nice pick here, able to get a couple Marauder Horsemen, but Valkanos very quick on his micro as well, able to pull back, but the Dragon, the Glade Lord Dragon needs to be pressured. Something needs to kind of keep that thing from sitting and just shooting and picking off that Shaman Sorcerer fire. That's one of the risks of bringing a Shaman Sorcerer. The Famir are much tankier, and they do also have missile resist built in from the Mist ability. But in this case, the Shaman Sorcerer pretty much has no ingrained defense. I think he has a little bit of base missile resist, the same that like all characters and heroes do. But yeah, he's going to get his bread buttered here by this Glade Lord if he's not careful. So Valkanos definitely needs to be aggressive. I think he just needs to start advancing on these battle lines and trying to corral Xiphos into the corner of the map. At which point, his Mammoth and his Skin Wolves can really start to get in there and tear those bad boys apart. But, we'll certainly see. Marauder Horse Masters lurking about. Here comes a nice salvo of fire, and you can see half HP off those Marauder Horsemen. And that's the thing, right? This is like classic 101 Wood Elves. Use the Wild Riders to hammer the infantry. When they respond with their countermeasures, the Way Watchers just decimate them. And you can see that's really happening here. These Marauders are being picked apart. These Marauders are being picked apart as well. And so far it seems that the Wood Elves are in a pretty good position here, as two groups of Marauders have been Shrek'd pretty good. Ammunition is healthy on the Way Watchers, and the Marauder Horse Masters, which are not a cheap unit, are taking substantial damage for sure. So Fireball coming in, a direct hit there on the Glade Lord, certainly nice. You can see Valkanos is wisely keeping his caster back now. The Skin Wolves need to be rushing. I think he needs to put pressure on every front to try and stress Xiphos' micro out. But nonetheless, here you can see the Way Watchers are pulling back at this point, and the Wild Riders are doing their thing. And yeah, honestly, so far, a really, really nice start here for the Woodies. And the Dragon up in the sky, quite happy as well. Could even go back here and snipe out that Shaman Sorcerer, but oh man, overextension here by Valkanos. So he overextends right into Xiphos' trap. The Wild Riders rush in, the Eternal Guard rush in. A really, really nice Pravenoth Rhema going down as well, which is going to buy some time for these guys to retreat and kind of, reform their ranks there. But so far, I mean, it's certainly not over, but man, a nasty breath attack right there on top of the Skin Wolves. Also hits Marauders, and these guys, I don't know what these Horse Masters are doing. They're charging into Wild Riders, which are buffed up by Shield of Thorns. So that's just going to be straight brutality right now, guys. Now the Glade Lord landing once again. The Curse of Onrare, of course, is active, and it seems like Norska is having a little bit of trouble keeping up with the kind of tactical withdrawals of the Wood Elves and the sniping efforts. As Condom Wolves are being broken, these ones are probably going to break shortly after, but now Valkanos has gotten some Hounds here. If Valkanos could find a way to get these Norscan Warhounds up and around the back and shut down these Way Watchers from just going balls deep all over this Norscan army, that would be probably his only boon, but you can tell Xiphos very on point right now. He's got all of his guys back here ready to defend. The Way Watchers are still shooting. And now the Eternal Guard are actually in a winning situation in the front line. Burning Head going down could be good. Looks like Xiphos was able to dodge that for the most part. And you can see here those guys are going to be pulling forward. But yeah, Norska kind of running out of steam a little bit. You could see like they were pressing really aggressively, but with the methodical pickoffs and all that sort of stuff, it seems like the Wood Elves have their cav are healthy. The Wild Riders of Xiphos here are able to protect his archers. These Hounds can't really do anything. I mean, they could rear charge these Eternal Guard. Well, they actually find a chink in the armor here of Xiphos. Very nice play there by Valkanos. He's able to get into the Way Watchers. Let's see if Xiphos is able to react. I mean, if the Hounds, for example, are able to get 2 Way Watchers for free and chase them off, Norska could win this game. For sure. So Xiphos really needs to grab some of his Wild Riders, come back here and clean off these Hounds. He was doing such a good job defending it, but a little bit of a lapse there. Grabbing all of his cabins, sending them forward into the battle lines does allow the Norscan Warhounds to just go deep here, but here comes the Wood Elf countercharge. The Rudolph squad is going to be charging in, all the reindeer, lancing down those doggos, and they're certainly very good against such targets, so the Wood Elves do get back there. And yeah, Norscan Warhounds are broken. Way Watchers should be functional and back online. A Pravenoth Rhema going down to the Marauder Chieftain, plus a Dragon Breath attack. Really, really good timing there by the Wood Elves. And yeah, that's a nasty one. A lot of HP damage. Poison is imbued. And this big Chungus here is going to be taking a big old walloping. Also on top of that, the Dragon itself could land and fight, and with the Mammoth being this beat up, with the Wild Hunters of Kurnus, I think you could go in there and just kind of give the death blow here to this this Marauder beastie. In the meantime, Wild Hunters of Kurnus are chasing down Horse Masters. Definitely a better trade there for the Norskins because they can just kite and fight. Waywatcher is pretty good on ammo, honestly, for this point in the game. About 15% here, maybe about 20% here on these Waywatchers. And for the most part, aside from that one slip-up, Xiphos has done a pretty exceptional job of defending these bad boys. Hounds are getting back in, and, you know, you can see here now Valkanos' tactic is really, okay, let's just try and waste all the ammo of those Waywatchers, and maybe we can win with our Mammoth in the fourth quarter. Our Skin Wolves will come back and potentially be able to win us the game. That's really pretty much the only thing that I think the boys are going to be able to do here, so we will see. Here these Skin Wolves are broken, a fair amount of Norskin power over here, 17 Skin Wolves, Marauders, and still a fair amount of Skirmish Cab, to be honest. But the Waywatchers, very good ammunition conservation. If you guys are planning on playing Wood Elves and you like to use Waywatchers, that's something to really master, is not having them fire at will, but only have them fire when you give orders to do so. And when you do so, it's a target that really needs to be shot by Waywatchers, right? Because if you just let them fire at will, they're going to shoot at Marauders, they'll shoot at random shit when they're running. In that case, you can definitely be very inefficient and lose games. But in this case, it looks like Xiphos is pulling ahead. The Wild Riders and the Wild Hunters of Kurnus and the big old dragon here going pretty ham. I don't see any really chance for Norska. I mean, the dragon is still kind of healthy too, and I think they're still healing too. Yeah, the Spellsinger's still alive. So the dragon could be healed, could come in, and even just sit in the sky and shoot that Mammoth for sure. Marauders are pretty close to breaking. Sisters of Thorn holding well. Wild Hunters of Kurnus taking a little bit of a mammoth ram there, but Balance of Power is pretty much point of no return, and that is going to be army losses. And Xiphos is going to be claiming victory, so it just goes to show, Xiphos, you don't need to be camping in the forest, man. You still got it, man. You still got it. Beautiful, beautiful kite play with the Waywatchers. Really nice Wild Rider play. I am excited to see what happens when the Wood Elves get their DLC and what Xiphos is going to be able to do with them. That will be very, very good. All right, my friends. Well played to Valkanos and Xiphos. Now we can advance. Gabo Slayer, if you are watching, you're up next. So Xiphos will be the current king of the hill. Yes, good. Good, Anakin, good. All right, so I will go ahead and tag the Gabo Slayer. It was a well-played game, for sure. That's some proper Wood Elf play right there. Some proper Wood Elf play. All right, the score. Let's go ahead and change this. We need to change it back to 1. We're all set. So next, Gabo Slayer is up. Xiphos will defend his throne. We'll do the Pillar of Bone next. That'd be a fun one. Actually, we do a little bit of a bigger map here. We'll do the Red Desert, River, Amixon. Yeah, this map should be fine here. Sword of Torgold. The decision is final. And guys, thank you again for joining on stream today. It's a pleasure to see you all hanging out here on this fine Friday afternoon or night, depending on where you are here in the world. Yeah. What's that, guys? All right, we're all set. Gabo Slayer is here. Xiphos picks 3, go. We're going to be using that ban, pick and ban system here for today's games. So it's vanilla multiplayer. Yeah, correct. It is vanilla multiplayer indeed. All right, everything's looking good, man. It looks like Gabo Slayer may want to go with Vampire Coast. I think that's perhaps his inclination here. So you ban 1 and pick. I actually like this pick and ban system for King of the Hill. I think it's fine. There have been some changes to pick and bans for the different rules and whatnot, but for banner rules. But I think for King of the Hill, this one is fine. So Xiphos has gone Wood Elves, High Elves, and Empire. So basically, Xiphos has picked factions that are good against Vampire Coast. If I were Gabo Slayer, what would I do here? I mean, you could ban Empire and go Coast. I mean, Coast honestly is good against High Elves and Wood Elves, I suppose. I don't know what Xiphos' proficiency here, but we did see Xiphos lose in the faction war against Coast, and Gabo Slayer, I'm sure, was actually playing in it. So we could see a Coast pick and banning Empire. That would probably be what I would do here for the Gabo Slayer. Yeah, Everchosen is using banner rules, correct? Yeah. Yeah, Valkanos, no worries, man. You played well. Xiphos is one of the best in the world at doing that. So no shame, brother. It was a good game. I think Valkanos, you needed a little bit more aggression, like just getting your whole army moving forward at once, like really aggressively. Because if you try and play that skirmish game, they just pick you apart. Like you get the Marauders moving up, you have like everything behind it. You eat the fire a little bit, but if you can corner them, you can get some really, really good value for sure. Hey, nice. I'm glad you guys are signing up for the qualifiers. They're going to be a ton of fun, man. I'm going to be sitting back with some pierogi and perhaps a brew and watching all those qualifiers, man. I'm super excited. Yeah, super excited for sure. Swazi says it's cold and miserable where he is. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Although, honestly, I would love some rain right now. All right, so he's picking Bretonia and banning High Elves. But, you know, it's really funny. We saw... all right, 5 minutes. Go. We saw Xiphos, like, beat every Bretonian player in the ECL finals he played in. Like, and people kept trying to counter him with Bretonia, and he just kept cackling and winning with his Wood Elves. Yeah, in the faction war before that, we did see Falcon win with his Wood Elves, and he was able to beat the Vampire Coast in a 2-1, I think, in the Grand Finals, or 2-0, was it? I can't remember, but it was a really good series. It was a really, really good series. Bugman's Brew. You know, I've always wanted to go to Warhammer Worlds in the UK and go to the Bugman's Brewery. I'm sure it's just like a very basic local beer, but it would still be very good. Yeah, so I'm going to be playing a stream here, guys. I'm going to be doing a Crusader Kings 3 stream with Italian Spartacus sometime next week, probably on Monday. And I'm going to be playing Poland in the year 1066. So I'm pretty excited for sure. I was sitting with Lady Turin last night, and I was looking at the Crusader Kings 3 names. I was like, can you tell me how to say all these names, or at least like try and make me not terrible at saying them? Because, man, Polish names can be really tough to say if you don't know like the basics of the language and the structure and how things are pronounced and things like that. It's a tricky one, man. So Gobbo Slayer is going Bretonia. Xiphos is Wood Elf. Xiphos is actually ready. Yeah. Well, it is again Xiphos' triple Way Watcher and masturbates again. Yeah, I think so. We'll see if Gobbo Slayer's ready for him, man. We'll see. Yeah. Oh, dude. Polish food is so good. The Corona is, yeah. We usually travel to Poland for the holidays and once during the summer as well. And Anna's mother is awesome, and she makes some amazing Polish food, and I miss it, man. I miss just like every morning I would just get up and go down to the kitchen, and there would just be like some pashtet with like some bread and layered, and I would just sit there like, oh, it's so good. Like, dude, oh, it was such a good way to start every day, man. Yeah. I think Hero of Rome, I'd play them for sure. But my wife is Polish, so I got to represent Poland there. I think Italian Spartacus is going to play Hungary, and we're going to have an alliance. Yeah. Yeah. You guys are typing these Polish, dude. Oh man, yeah. The Polish language is really difficult. I mean, I can say a couple things, but like reading it is really, really difficult for sure. You know, I know how to say cześć and co to robisz and jak się masz, dziękuję bardzo. You know, like I know some basic sayings. I've picked up a little bit here and there. I obviously know the bad words. All right, my friends, and here we are. My wife is Polish. Yeah, my wife is indeed Polish. Dude, I love pierogi. I love pashtet. Layered with some like good fresh baked bread. Oh God, I'm just getting a chub thinking about it. It's so good. Yeah. Anyways, guys, back to Warhammer. Xiphos. No surprises, going to be going with the dreaded triple Way Watcher. So what he does here, he tries to get the Bretonians to overextend. And when he's able to do that, he just wastes them with the Way Watchers, and they have good AP, and they can really pick knights apart. He's got a Glade Lord on horseback, again, just for Praven Othrema, Spellsinger of Life, and Wild Riders, which will lose head-to-head against most Bretonian knights, like hardcore. But if you're able to soften them up or Praven Othrema them to break their charge bonus, the Wild Riders can win those fights. So it's really a very technical game here. On top of that, Eternal Guard with some Azrai Spears in the back. Classic stuff. So now, guys, for the build here of the Bretonians, who shall be led by Gobbo Slayer, it's going to be a glorious horde of peasants in the front line, Spearmen at Arms, Battle Pilgrims in the secondary, And of course, very classic, a bunch of cav units. Knights of the Realm are the kind of standard go-to. They have anti-large, they're really good at killing lightly armored cav, which are wild riders, an exceptional choice for sure. A Manticore Summoner, King Lewin, who of course heals himself, and this is probably the only thing that is a little bit unique here in this pick, are the Pegasus Knights. You don't see them terribly often, though on paper they can really do well against many things on the Wood Elf roster. If they can isolate the Glade Lord or get a rear charge on Wild Riders, they can really do some great work for sure. So, we will see. We will see indeed. Alright guys. It is time. The Peasant Tide marches to war. Trying to bring some industry here. Well, I guess they're not really about industry either, but trying to bring their lumberjacking over here to the Wood Elves. That's probably what this dispute's over, right? Like, Bretonnia wanted to kind of get some lumberjacking going here, and the Wood Elves came out. They're like, hey man, we ain't about that life. We're doing it here. We're doing it here. And yeah, let's see, guys. Any predictions? Let us know in chat. Who do you think is going to win this game? Xiphos, the king of the Wood Elves, or Gabo Slayer and his glorious peasant horde? Let us know where your allegiance lies. It's always fun to gauge the scene, see what everybody's thinking about the matchup and whatnot. Good luck, have fun being dropped on both sides. I'll include it as well. And we'll get this second match of today's King of the Hill going. Xiphos, of course, with a solid victory in the first match. A very well-played game by both Valkanos and Xiphos, but now Xiphos has advanced in today's King of the Hill. And the battle is indeed underway. So Xiphos is going to be looking to just pick things off with his Way Watchers. Going to be looking to butter that bread. So what he'll do, let me break it down for you guys. Let's break it down, man. Xiphos is going to come forward with his Way Watchers, or at least in range to start harassing some of the, let's say Battle Pilgrims or some of the chaff units and whatnot. And then from there, he'll charge his Wild Riders into the peasants, into the frontline troops, and try and get some free value where he can. And then if, Gabo Slayer tries to respond by sending forward his knights to chase them off, he'll just, pray of an Othrama them and focus down the knights and screen and pull back. It's pretty much the same formula you saw. And, honestly, one of the sad things about Wood Elves is that it's pretty much one of the only competitive ways they can kind of play consistently. Right now, they have a very limited roster. I mean, I think Wood Elves are really in need of a DLC, which is certainly, hopefully on the horizon here. And here you can see the Way Watchers going after the King Lewin. Very good presence of mind there by Gabo Slayer, playing a little bit of possum. So basically, he left King Lewin sitting there, and he's like, hey, man, you want this? You want this this King Lewin? Made it look like he was sitting AFK there, and then he's just juking these shots. I mean, this is a ton of ammo wasted here from Xiphos. And so far, King Lewin juking it like an absolute champ. So Gabo Slayer doing the right thing. He's pressing forward, keeping his knights in relatively conservative range, although he could just rush as well. But yeah, as long as Lewin doesn't get prayed, but he does get prayed. But look at this. Lion Shield is active on Lewin, which gives him 44% ward save against missile attacks on top of his base missile resist. So Lewin is actually going to be very durable against these attacks. I mean, 3 Way Watchers would normally delete something. Like, Lewin, without Lion's Shield right now, would more or less probably be dead. And he's able to get away here at half health. He's still healing, so could potentially kind of get his bearings back and be okay. In the meantime, Bretonnia definitely needs to start pumping the pedal here, putting the metal to the pedal, or pedal to the metal, however that goes. Yeah, it's pedal to the metal, because you're like pushing the pedal to the metal portion of the car. Anyways, guys, I'm just getting started, man. Just getting started. Knights of the Realm are pushing forward, going to be pressing into the Wild Riders, and now this is good. It's a unified charge from Bretonnia, which kind of is a bit of a threat overload situation. It's going to force the hard Wood Elves behind the battle lines, although, man, they're getting some nasty damage here against the Pegasus Riders. A Manticore Summon would actually be really good right now. Like, if Gabo Slayer could drop a Manticore Summon and really go for the kill there. And committing Pegasus Knights actually into the Way Watchers, a little bit dicey for sure, since there are some Wood Elves nearby and some spears, but I think Bretonnia has enough critical mass here that they just don't care. They might actually even be charging into spear lines. This is a very aggressive push here from Bretonnia. And now a Manticore Summon's coming out, it looks like. Manticore Summon definitely could just send it after the Glade Lord or have it help in the blob fight, but it looks like some of the Knights of the Lionhearted did get trapped here, and now they're pulling back as they are countercharged. Many of those Knights will be dragged down, and some of the Eternal Guard also engage with Peasant Mobs in the front. So yeah, so far Bretonnia hasn't really gotten into the cookie jar yet, but now the battle is in a position where they can start to get into the cookie jar. The Knights can push back and around here, because if you look here, you need to press enough from the front and the back that they can't just use their Wild Riders to protect their back line. They have to, create an opening of sorts. And honestly, you could get like both Pegasus Knights and just like slam into the Wild Riders with Lewin's support, but it's still risky. Manticore Summon is being used here, but a little bit of a awkward placement here of the Manticore Summon, as it is kind of stuck amongst Azrai Spears. It should be going after the Spellsinger, given new attack orders. And Lewin is getting his bread buttered again. And Prey of an Othrama probably coming off cooldown pretty shortly, which means Lewin could just get dunked on pretty hard, and he's very close to just straight up going down here, guys. And Bretonnia is able to hammer through the front. The Eternal Guard here are slammed on by Pegasus Knights and a bunch of cav units, so that's a good conservative play here by Gabo Slayer. he's able to, you know, pick off something for free while Lewin kind of takes the beating like a champ. Lewin is healing now, so as long as Gobbo Slayer just leaves Lewin to kind of chill for a while and heal back up, it should be okay. And the front line of the Wood Elves is getting worn down. The Manticore Summon wasn't able to accomplish too much, unfortunately. It looks like it did try its best. The second Manticore Summon is coming in here, so yeah, very, very unfortunate. It only got 5 kills. Manticore Summons are capable of, you know, potentially, you know, taking out a caster type character or accomplishing huge lofty goals like that. And here comes the Pegasus Knights actually charging into the back. That's a nice play there by Gobbo Slayer, because there's a fight between the Defenders of Fleur-de-Lis and some Knights of the Realm, and then the Pegasus Knights are able to charge into the back there of those guys, while the Manticore Summon is causing some ample disruption. You can see we got Peasant Mobs and Men-at-Arms pushing in as well, but I do feel like Xiphos is stable. Many of the Bretonnian Heavy Cav are a little bit trapped up, and Xiphos just, like, every time you look and see an opening, suddenly some spears or other units just, like, magically appear in those situations, right? So the War Dancers with the Azrai Spear is able to block up those Knights, but the Knights are able to go around and kind of circumvent their position, while Peasant Mobs are able to kind of muck up those War Dancers. And yeah, really good pursuit here by Bretonia, really good aggression. You know, pushing and taking a lot of damage in the process, but still getting some good work in. Lewin's trying to make his way back, actually. Lion's Shield better be off cooldown here, or else Lewin could potentially just get murked super hard. And man, talk about balls deep aggression here from the Bretonians. Gobbo Slayer is getting his whole horde and just like ignoring everything here and pushing in, and it kind of looks like the Wild Riders might have gotten crumped. I'm looking around. Yeah, they're all running for the edge of the map. So the Bretonian metal able to get in there, and honestly, if Gobbo Slayer is able to ride through these archers right now, that's probably game. There's still a ton of Bretonians. King Lewin is still alive too and healing, and he's nowhere near his healing cap. Lewin could probably heal like another 2,000 HP. So Gobbo Slayer with really, really solid aggression. But Xiphos, of course, responding in kind by pulling his Waywatchers back. But Xiphos' army is looking very bare bones now. He's got like 2 Eternal Guard here. And honestly, I really thought Xiphos was in a commanding position. But when Gobbo Slayer rear charged with those Pegasus Knights and collapsed from all sides and was able to break the Wild Rider pocket, it pretty much opened up the floodgates here. So here comes the Bretonian Legion, riding them down, and Xiphos withdraws, knowing that the game is more or less over. Well played. Yeah, that one rear charge there that broke that flank, I think was the floodgates that allowed the Waywatchers to be hunted down. Yeah, I mean, I thought Gobbo Slayer was in a ton of trouble with Lewin being forced back, but nonetheless, Gobbo Slayer proving that he's certainly a top-notch player as well, and is able to do some great work there. So, well played to Gobbo Slayer. GG indeed. All right, let's get the name going. So next we have Happy Puppy. All right. All right, so you're up. Let's tag the Happy Puppy to get this next battle started. Oh, it's with 1P. That's why I keep... Okay. Excellent. The Slayer of Gobbo stands triumphant. Well played, Xiphos. It was certainly a fun set of Wood Elf games we got from you, brother. And now we'll jump into the next battle here. Gobbo Slayer awaits, man. No, today is actually just a casual King of the Hill stream. But if you want to see the information regarding qualifiers, we can actually pull it up right now. So here are the dates for the qualifiers so far. We might be potentially adding another one because one of the players from the previous Everchosen, one of the 4 can't make it. So we might be adding another qualifier in. But for now, these are the ones that we're rolling with. All right, let me find this bad boy. Where is it? Yes, intro title. There you go. So you can see Dov is going to have the first qualifier. There will be a second one midweek, a third one with my son Herbert Walker, and then Aerocastic will have the final qualifier. So these are the dates, and if you want to play in them or get involved, you can just join the Discord by using the link below. All that sort of good stuff, man. We obviously went over it earlier. Lobby should be good now. Perfect. Gobbo picks 3. All right. So let's see what's cracking, man. One sec, guys. Just sending a quick email. Yeah, you almost got him. You almost got him, Xiphos. You almost brought down Lewin. You almost brought him down, brother. It was a good scrap. We got to change the map, so we will do... Stir River is like such an old school map that's just... Yeah, we need to make sure they know the map as well, because that can dictate their factions. Tower of Hoeth. So Gobbo Slayer is going to go Coast, Bretonia, or Lizardmen. I know Happy Puppy mentioned that she was practicing Beastmen quite a bit, so I think we're going to see a Beastmen pick. Beastmen versus Bretonia is a 50-50 matchup in my opinion. Beastmen versus Coast is actually an interesting one. Most Coast players would probably consider it favored there, but I have had some success with Beastmen in that matchup. Beastmen versus Lizardmen sucks pretty bad for Beastmen in my experience, so probably banning Lizards and going Beasts if she wants to practice Beastmen would be the prudent choice here. Would be the prudent choice. So we are on the Tower of Hoeth, perhaps some dreaded Cygors. Yes, Ice Power Total War, you're allowed to apply for as many qualifiers as you want. So you can play in every single one. But obviously if you qualify, you can't try and qualify twice, you know? Yeah. So that's that. As God is my witness, those Way Watchers are broken in half. Dude, I always appreciate a really good WWE reference, like, especially early in the day, man. Gets you going. Nice and good, like. But those are the current qualifiers. We may add one more, which would be hosted by another creator in the community as well. But I need to confirm that the player who was in the top 4 last time can't make it again for the next Everchosen before I set that up. So stay tuned, guys. Stay tuned. Those are the basics. Again, these are going to be all the qualifiers, so we have plenty of dates and options. One will be midweek for people who can't quite make the weekends, and different time zones as well. I want to make sure people in Australia and other parts of the world are able to play in the qualifiers as well. So we're going to try our best to make it happen, man. So now we can load back to the recording here. Oh, it's going to be okay. Look at this. So Vampire Coast ban, and then Happy Puppy is actually going to be going for the Exiles. Yeah, going to be playing Kotep sub-faction, which is quite a bit of fun. Yeah. Yeah, Ice Power it would be. It would be indeed. And yes, the glorious Bretonians versus the Tomb Kings. This is a matchup I used to think was like terrible for Bretonia, but then I played it a couple times and got some advice on it from really good Bretonian players, and I'm trying to become a Bretonian main myself. And yeah, honestly, I feel like Bretonia has some teeth in this matchup. They have some pretty good options they can kind of work with, so yeah. Jorgen Master, though I do appreciate you hanging out in the stream. We do not usually touch upon political issues here in the chat and whatnot. So just enjoy, man. Hang out. Enjoy some Warhammer. Get away from all that nonsense. Yeah. Treat yourself, man. Gabbo's playing Bretonia. I mean, he probably just wants to play them. I'm not sure. I mean, Bretonia, actually, I think there's been a lot of players who've said they've actually are very good in this matchup. They're pretty good at grinding it out for sure. Lewin can be very strong. Fey Enchantress can be good at killing blobs of Tomb Guard with halberds. Granted, it is Kotep here, and we probably will see Kotep on a Casket, which Kotep, and Caskets in general are pretty decent against Cav units. They can really, really do a ton of damage for sure. They can indeed. Do you need to be French to be a Bretonian main? No, I do not believe you do. Yeah, man. I'm so glad that the old world is coming back to tabletop. Like, I'm so excited for that. I don't know if it's going to be like the same scale as it was before, or like, like a maybe kind of one of the more mini scale, like for bigger army type things. But regardless, dude, I'm just so happy to be able to field like some of the old world units in like a game that's being supported, and yeah, super hyped. Yeah. Gobbo Slayer's ready. Happy Puppy scheming with Kotep, coming up with some final tricks. I would definitely like to see some dreaded some casket action. Caskets are really good against peasant archer spam too. Like a couple blasts from a casket can just like wreck peasant archers. Like you can just chain fire through them and just take them out so quickly. We're not too far through. Yeah, we're getting in there. The Knights of Bretonia are pretty cool, but the peasants are the true backbone. We have to be real. But man, there's nothing quite as epic as a Bretonian cav charge. Like, it's just so glorious when it works and it like crumples something. Dude, it's so badass. Yeah. All right, so the battle is underway. I'm gonna go. Yeah, so Games Workshop, it's public knowledge. They've said that they're going back to the old world in tabletop gaming. Yeah, so Warhammer Fantasy is coming back in some way. I don't know if it's going to be, I think people in chat have said it's going to be like in a different time period, but like still a really cool time period, which is super exciting. So yeah. Hope to see some constructs. Most likely. Yeah, most likely. The Tower of Hoth calls to us once more in the deep, my friends. Let us see how this glorious battle goes. Let's see what the puppy can conjure. Is that all you can conjure, happy puppy? All right, guys, let's go ahead and take a look here at the forces of the Tomb Kings. Front line's going to be Nehekar Warriors, actually, so bringing some infantry quality. With the Tomb Guard and the Kepra Guard, we do have one group of Ushapti Grepo, which, of course, are very good against Bretonnian lords and, cav units. Casket, so it's going to be a casket, and Kotep is not going to be on a casket. Kotep's going to be on horseback. Very, very interesting. Yeah, that's exciting. So somebody in chat is saying it's set 200 years before Fantasy 8th edition. Okay, so if that's true, that's the same time period that what's it called? Oh, there was that Warhammer action RPG game that I played a little bit. It's like Magnus the Pious, the Azavar Cool, the Everchosen coming and bringing. So it's like the Great War Against Chaos, which is actually a really, really cool time period for sure. Yeah, so. All right, one sec, guys. Excellent. We're all set, my friends. Yes, I know. Things are getting out of control. All right, guys. So yeah, for the Tomb Kings, we got a casket, Ushapti Grepo in the back. We do also have Necropolis Knights with halberds. And yeah, they're a good choice. Honestly, though, I've been on a bit of a train of using Necropolis Knights with the sword and shield, or whatever weapon they're using in shield, because the shield and the melee defense really does help them in sustained combat. But the halberd variant, of course, can do some work. And the first person who opened my eyes to the Necropolis Knights with halberds was, of course, King of the Dead. So pretty cool stuff. Nehekar horsemen on the flanks, and that is it. A pretty solid Tomb Kings army. And now for the Gobbo Slayer. Gobbo Slayer going to be coming in rock hard with 1 million peasants, a ton of archers, which of course is very standard. And surprisingly, archers with poison and standard archers can be a good tool against armor and constructs and things like that. So peasant bowmen can do some serious work. So we will see. Knights of the Realm are going to be the baseline cab unit, companions of Quinel's there, and some Grail Knights. So very heavy cab diversity, actually, with defenders of Fleur-de-Lis. So 4 different types of cab units here. We have Gotrek, we have a Paladin, we do also have the Fey Enchantress for some pretty sweet draining. And on top of that, we do also have the glorious Field Trebuchets. So that is that, my friends. The battle does rage on. The Casket of Souls. Oh, look at this from Happy Puppy. I did miss this because there was some hiding. Yeah, Chaos Bane. It was Chaos Bane. The Screaming Skull catapults are lurking in the back and can, of course, drop some fat shots into these units here. So we'll see if they're able to accomplish their goal. So as far as the caskets go, you definitely want to kill the Peasant Archers. Those guys are going to be unleashing a hellish amount of damage. Not so much per unit, but in great numbers. 4 Peasant Archers shooting into Necropolis Knights can actually kill them surprisingly quicker, for sure. Yeah. So here comes the Bretonnian Horde. It looks like the Paladin taking some shots from the Ushapti Grepo. Happy Puppy in a very defensive posture, which is pretty normal in this matchup. Normally, Bretonnia is going to be the aggressor. I'm quite curious about what the Field Trebuchets are going to be shooting. Shooting Kepra Guard could be good. Even shooting at Necropolis Knights could be decent. Like, honestly, if those... We've seen Field Trebuchets from Bretonnia actually kill Demograph Knights, like, really effectively. So there are some other options for sure. So here come the Nehekara Warriors, battling with the glorious Paladin of Bretonnia, as the Peasants and the Fey Enchantress charges in. That's a pretty glorious cinematic there. Gotrek charging in as well. Looks like Kotep getting his hands dirty, but he might get slapped up by the Fey Enchantress if he's not careful. Fey Enchantress is actually really scary if you look at her picture. Anyways, it looks like the Darude Sandstorm's going to be coming down on the Peasant mobs, eviscerating them, sending them into another dimension. Here in the front line, Grail Knights do get a fully erect charge into the Tomb Guard, but will have to pull back here. And yeah, I do think the Trebuchets are actually shooting at the Necropolis Knights, which is quite funny, but for the most part, Happy Puppy did get the better engagement here, as the Necropolis Knights were able to countercharge the non-charging Grail Knights. And Grail Knights are very dependent on their charge bonus. They're being poisoned, they're being dragged down. Very well played by the pup there, picking off a very expensive unit early. Now on the flanks here, we have the defenders of Fleur-de-Lis battling some Nehekara horsemen, and looks to be losing that. Not because of the head-to-head fight, but because of the Ushapti Grepo here on the flank that are providing some very, very good support. As far as the rest of the battle lines goes, a Chalice of Potions going down against King Nekesh's Scorpion Legion. Not bad, but not too much damage. Knights of the Realm charging in, maybe going to be weaving through the seam, which would be good if they could get on those Ushapti Grepo. I feel like Gobbo Slayer needs that to happen. He's kind of in a bit of a tough position now, as he has lost more or less his entire flank. The Archers are running, the Cav are running. These Grail Knights are going to be losing to those Necropolis Knights pretty badly with the support of those spears. So yeah, Gobbo Slayer needs to make some plays happen, and this is a good start here. You can see the companions were able to fully kill those Nehekar horsemen, and so with some proper micro, Gobbo Slayer should be able to get those companions up and around the back. And yeah, the meme catapult here might get taken out, and of course Gotrek and Enchantress I think are on the hunt here, going after Kotep, who is on horseback, so I'm not really sure how Gotrek is catching him, but looks like he's a little bit kind of trapped up on some of those knights and some of those different assets there, so we will see. So the Screaming Meme Catapult is down. A big mistake here, though, by Gobbo Slayer, having the companions trapped and staying in combat with halberds. They're just getting cut apart, and they're such an expensive unit that could really, win this game for the Bretonnians if used properly. And it looks like he's able to get him away, so he lost, 30% HP by leaving those guys there. It's not the end of the world. And we certainly have a very good scrap on our hands here. But this is also very tough here. Knights of the Realm were able to get into the back here for Bretonnia, which is nice. But the Necropolis Knights are sitting here. They do have an overcasted Dejav's Incantation on them, which gives them bonus first large. But it looks like a lapse in move orders as the Necropolis Knights with halberds do kind of sit still for a moment, rather than attacking and actually finishing off those Knights of the Realm who are still doing some actually significant damage. So we'll see how that unfolds. In the meantime, Companions still trying to get away from the halberds, and it looks like some of the Tomb King's infantry have advanced into the Bretonnian lines, but only to be met by rallying Bretonnian forces as the Enchantress is able to drain these guys down with her Mists of the Lady. Doing some great stuff indeed. And now in the back you can see we do have the Defenders of Fleur-de-Lis and Grail Knights and all these bad boys pulling back. Peasant Archers still just going balls deep. And dude, I have been using Peasant Archers so much lately. So much. Those guys are just excellent. And even in matchups in which you think they wouldn't be good, they just do so much work for their cost. But yeah, Happy Puppy is very comfortable, though, because even if she does lose these advancing forces here, the Puppy can simply pull back with these Tomb Guards, pull back with these Tomb Guard here, and, just defend the Ushabti Great Bow, who've stabilized and still have freaking 8 models. They still have the Casket with good ammo, they still have the Catapult, so there's a lot of stopping power here, but the game is certainly far from over. Bretonnia appears to be rallying on many fronts, and, of course, being able to pick off these overextended Tomb King's infantry is value city for sure. Enchantress is 100% all about that life. 100% about that life. Trebuchets in the back are pretty good on ammo, actually. That's also another variable we have to take into account. You can see the Bounce Power has come back, and it looks like the Trebuchets here from Gobbo Slayer are going after the Screaming Skull Catapult, which I think is a pretty substantial mistake. I think they should be going after Necropolis Knights and or going after the Ushabti here, because the Catapult's more or less out of ammo, and it's not going to be super impactful as we do progress. Oh, but look at that, a DJ Sandstorm going down from Happy Puppy. Able to wreck through those Peasant Bowmen with the fire arrows. Really nice cast right there, and it still might go. No, it looks like it stopped. Kotep's doing his thing, man. He's doing it. Tomb Guard with halberds, very durable. Ushabti Summon here used by the Happy Puppy. I think Ushabti Summon should have been used back here. I think that was a bit of a misplay, but it's all right. Using it here isn't bad also, because it will kill Peasant Archers, which are obviously valuable. But back here, that single Ushabti Summon probably could have actually killed both Field Trebuchets, and I think that would have been pretty solid for sure. So who knows how it will unfold, and it looks like the Gobbo Slayer is pulling his way back into this game. Happy Puppy pulling back with the Kotep, being hunted down by a Paladin with the Favor of the Fae and the Charm Shield. But these Necropolis Knights, they need to do some work, man. These Necropolis Knights could easily pick off this Paladin if they're able to get us around. And Kotep, is more or less safe if the Necropolis Knights are nearby. But also Gotrek is here, and what's going to kill Gotrek in this Tomb King's army? I'm looking here. Tomb Guard could kill him, but many of the Tomb Guard have advanced into the Bretonnian lines that are being killed by the Enchantress. I think in terms of overall strategy, maybe keeping the Tomb Guard lines back here to defend would have been much better, and just using your artillery advantage, because advancing all those halberds in various units here I don't think is working out too well. Gotrek's going to be an absolute nightmare. I mean, Kotep is pretty god-awful in combat. He's only 300 weapon strength with really bad combat sets. Necropolis Knights here getting Faw's Protection plus Narrows, really nice cast, but you can see the Field Trebuchets, the master class engineering of Bretonnia, dropping some fat payloads here on these Necropolis Knights, and those bad boys are not enjoying themselves, man. Not enjoying themselves. Yeah, they're losing models quickly, only 6 left. And the Paladin, of course, with his anti-large support, should be able to lance down many, or not lance, it looks like he's got a sword, but should be able to help deal with those. Yeah, these Bretonnian Cav here are no mere Cav. These are the Companions, which are very elite anti-large Cav units. And what a comeback by the Gobbo Slayer. I really felt like he was on the ropes, man. Happy Puppy did have the better engagements early, but with really good tenacity, tactical retreats, overextending some of the Tomb King's forces, getting that constant value from the Trebuchets, and it looks like Bretonnia is going to win this. I just don't see how a Casket and a Catapult and Kotep can do anything in this situation. Yeah, look at this, man. And now the Casket's going to be getting karate chopped by the holy trio here. Enchantress, Paladin, Gotrek, quite a dream team. Where'd the Enchantress go? Did she, what the hell? Did she just teleport? I could have sworn the Enchantress was right here next to the Casket. Did it knock her back and I just missed that? That's weird. Yeah, well, anyways, missed that. So this bad boy is crumbling now, and the Tomb Kings do have a catapult. They have Kotep. They do have some Tomb Guard, but these characters are going to be a nightmare to kill. And Bretonnia still has 2 field trebuchets. These halberds are being pulled apart. I don't know what the pup can do. If it was like a Cetra, an Arkan type character, maybe some combat could be done on the Paladin and whatnot, but yeah, Gotrek is thick for sure. He's a thick boy. He's quite muscular, this mighty dwarf. And now he's going to be running through, just bashing through these High Elf runes, which I'm sure he enjoys as well. Is that a Chalice of Potions? Might be. Yeah, Chalice of Potions attempt going down to it. Happy Puppy isn't going to be having any of that. I'm dodging it for the most part, but yeah, these Tomb Guard are going to get wrecked by these characters most likely. Tomb Guard, though, will do good DPS against both of them, but yeah, Fey Enchantress draining. And the fact that Bretonnia does have these trebuchets online now is a huge problem. And the Paladin's just hunting Kotep. Nowhere really for Kotep to run, but it was a really well-played game between these two players. Really, really well played. Could have gone either way for sure. You guys were saying the casket punted her? Yeah, I didn't see that. Did not see that. Well, in lore, Gotrek wields an axe, but he sometimes wields it with 1 or 2 hands. It's a rune axe of Grimnir, which I think is, you know, somewhat open to interpretation, but on some of the book covers, it looks like it's the right size, more or less, but I think he mostly wields it with 2 hands in the book, but I can't quite remember. I think at times he, like, brings it into 1 hand while he's, like, punching someone else with his other hand. Gotrek he gets super crazy, man. Well played to Happy Puppy, as well as Gobbo Slayer. These 2 clan cousins doing battle here. The Kotep pick certainly was badass for sure, very ambitious. But in the end, the Gobbo Slayer was able to emerge victorious, yeah. Yeah, Gotrek is like freakishly strong in the books. Like most dwarf warriors or slayers are. They can like pick up, you know, like wagons and horses and things like that. They're pretty jacked. Melee Slon, thank you for the $10 donation during the game. He says, how's your hand? The hand is doing pretty good. It's a very slow recovery. It might take 1 to 2 years from the surgery for my hand to go back to normal because the nerves do have to decompress and it's a very slow process, but it's doing better, man. Thank you for asking. Thank you for asking, brother. Really do appreciate that. All right. There you have it. There you have it indeed. And now we have Zablaski. Some very good Bretonnian play today. Certainly always a very fun experience seeing those games. GG. Very well played. No problem. So Gobbo Slayer does have to run. We can let Pup stay if you want. Pup, you can stay if you want. So Gobbo Slayer actually had to run, but he still will be the champ. He had something come up in his IRL life here. So let's go ahead and get the next player up. Very good. All right, so now we have Zablaski. And yeah, let's do it to it, man. Let us do it to it. Melee Son, thank you again for your support, man. Do appreciate that. How would Bretonnia deal with Tomb King heavy construct builds? You know, so surprisingly effective are mass peasant archers. King Lewin is very good against constructs. He has great AP, can lower their armor for the archers. On top of that, Gotrek is a very common pick. Yeah, so there's a bunch of answers for sure. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, that build would have worked against constructs too, with Gotrek and, you know, the trebuchets are kind of a funky answer as well. For sure. I think it's time for a bit of a little troll country action. I need to go get some water, guys. I'll be right back. Gotta stay hydrated, man. Some good water, lads. Oh, is Anticity up next? Did I miss Anticity? Oh, I must have accidentally skipped him. Okay, well, here he is. 1 sec. Yeah, I had you and Zablaski reversed Anticity. You should be good now. Very good. All right, thank you for the heads up, guys. Map is set. Pup Picks 3. Let's do it to it, man. Let's have some fun. How's it going, Henrik? From Denmark. Hope all is well over in your part of the world. Yeah. Life's good, man. Mr. Oliver, the next Gelt stream will probably be Monday or Tuesday. I'm not sure. We'll iron that bad boy out. So Turin, the 2022 Everchosen champion. I could actually compete in Everchosen. Like, I could play in that because the format is only a couple games. Like, at most, I'd have to play like 6 or 8 games. And my hand can actually handle that now. So, but like, you know, since I host the Everchosen and cast it, I can't be playing in it. As much as I'd love to. It'd be really fun. Just don't give Anticity Crossroads for his Vampire Coast. Oh my god. I would love to play in Everchosen, man, but like casting it is it's my child, man. I remember Everchosen when it was young. The first time it was ever discussed in the early days with Dogbert from CA. We were at TwitchCon like back in 2016, and we came up with the idea more or less, and Italian Spartacus was up in there. We got him as a caster, and he's just awesome. And yeah, man, that was. I know I want to play Heroes 3 too, but usually I play with Pwn, and he hasn't been available. So, Happy Puppy going Kotzep again. Wow. Okay, so the players agreeing on their picks and bans here. Yeah, Italian Spartacus is going to be casting with me. Yeah. You want me to play and cast? I could do that. I mean, I think I can make it to the semis. I don't think I would win Everchosen against, like, you know, the likes of Aerocrastic and Falcon, but I think I could get to the semifinals. For sure. But yeah, no, I would not win it. I definitely would not win it. Oh, man. All right, so Anticity maybe going High Elves? Yeah. Interesting stuff, my friends. Yeah, Everchosen is a creative assembly event. Mm-hmm. Yeah, they put forward the prize support, and they usually have the venue set up, all that sort of good stuff. So I know, just give us Warhammer 3, dude. Henrik, I agree. I want it so bad. I want it. Daniels in chat says, can somebody stop Anticity? Like in the last 3 months, he is the single player speedrun champion back to back and a single player endurance champion. Now he turns into the champion king of the hill, and he is really good, man. Anticity is like, I remember like not long ago, maybe like a year ago or a year and a half, he was playing in the Fresh Recruits League, like just getting started. And now he's like competing in the ECL Grand Finals, and I'm sure he'll be potentially qualifying for the Everchosen. Yeah. Yeah, man. Yeah, Gobbo Slayer had to go Zablasky. Yeah, he had to go run an errand in real life or something. So Pup is going to remain on, and then you'll be up next, Zablasky. For some reason, I thought you were up. I had you and Anticity switched on my list. I don't know how that happened. Perhaps when I was typing it out on my little notepad. So it's going to be Dwarves. Oof. Oof, Dwarves. Ouch. So this matchup can be won by Tomb Kings. I've had some pretty good success. Granted, I think it's Dwarf favored, like heavily, but with Tomb Kings, you go double Tomb Scorpion, front line of just trash, maybe a couple of Ushapti. You need to bring a Chariot plus single entity Chariots, and just like, so Necrotect on Chariot, Prince on Chariot, and like really just abuse the single entity Chariots. Yeah. That would be my 2 cents. What players are participating in today's King of the Hill? Well, we have Zablasky up next. This is the way, Outer Region, King of the Dead, JK, Mole Spaghetti. I'm not sure how far we'll get down the list. Usually I go through 10 players just so the stream doesn't go like 6 hours, but we'll see. We'll play it by ear. 3 minutes left to pick. I really should just get like a timer for my desk. Yeah, Nathan Cohen, if you join my Discord, which is in the description, you can go to the community resources, and then from there you want to join my son Herbert Walker's Discord. He runs those leagues. My tournaments are open to individuals of all skill levels, so we usually get beginners and advanced players signing up, and then, you know, it's trial by fire. But eventually, at some point, I probably will start a beginners league. Yeah, it's just hard. It's hard to gauge sometimes, like for the beginners league. But yeah, my son Herbert Walker, I believe, runs the Fresh Recruits, which is really, really good. He does it really good, so I don't need to bother. He just does it so well. Yeah. All right, looks like Happy Puppy is ready. Anticity, I'm sure, making the final tweaks to his glorious Dwarven Legion. This is a hard matchup for Puppy, though. This would be a very, very impressive win. Inticity is a top-tier dwarf player, too. Yeah. Tanks, so we don't have a date for the actual, like, the Everchosen event yet. We've just been given the green light by Creative Assembly to host the qualifiers. So whenever they tell us the Everchosen is, like, the people who qualify in these events we're hosting will be playing in the big event, whenever that is. We don't have a date for it yet, though. Yeah, so we're just doing it. Kotep knows no fear. Well, perhaps Walgetstein. When's Kotep a Space Marine now? Imagine that. That's some weird shit. It is indeed. Loading into the Troll Country. One of my favorite maps in Warhammer. Do we have something for people who are below beginner? Yeah, actually, if you're in my Discord, you can go to the section called Looking to Practice. You just go in there, type your skill level, and there's going to be tons of people generally, especially earlier in the day. Probably like early, well, European kind of time zone. More so. So like 10, 11 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Or AM, excuse me, will be a very good time. But you can generally find people to practice with who are beginners. Yeah. There's tons of great people in there, man. It's a really, really cool Discord community, so the funds in this format is 12,400. Army size is large because that's more or less what the game is balanced around. Ultra is fun to do sometimes, but, you know. It is what it is. All right, guys, so for the Dwarf Army here, Anticity going for Longbeards and Dwarf Warriors, no surprises. They both perform exceptionally well against Tomb King's infantry. Longbeards especially I'm a huge fan of. Those bad boys are immune to psychology, and they don't get routed by scorpions and things like that. Oh, Anticity, baby, with the Wild Flame Cannon. Yes, talk dirty to chat. Anticity is more or less talking dirty to you guys right now. He brought a Flame Cannon, come on. On top of that, very standard, Iron Drakes with the Trollhammer Torpedoes to kill constructs, Slayers to defend them, and some Dwarf Warriors in the back just for support with Grombrindle the White Dwarf here with the Smoke Bomb. Pretty exciting stuff. Pretty exciting stuff indeed. And now, my friends, let's take a look at the forces of Happy Puppy. It's going to be Double Tomb Scorpion, very, very good. Ushapti, Skeleton Warriors, Carrion. Honestly, this army's great. It's good. This army can win the game. If properly executed, should be fine. I mean, obviously, Anticity is a very tough foe, but Happy Puppy is a very good player as well. So we got Kotep here with the base spells that you usually see, and we also have the Necrotech to heal up these Scorpions. You can abuse one more single entity chariot against dwarves by using the Prince on a chariot as well. But in this case, it should be fine. Double Tomb Scorpion, you know, certainly can do some work for sure. Look at the Flame Cannon actually shooting at the Tomb Scorpion. Did some decent damage, believe it or not. But what you could do here is you could actually attack the Dwarf Longbeards with Carrion to break their charge, because they might not brace in time. Some of them are still moving. It looks like they got like a partial brace. It was kind of weird. Yeah, some of the units were still kind of relocating here. But yeah, you really got to make sure to stay out of range of those Trollhammer Torpedoes. But the Carrion are a pretty good disruption tool here. They are infantry sized, which means Slayers don't kill them super quickly. And they do have 40-something melee defense, 46 actually. So they can really muck up Slayers for quite some time. Happy Puppy does need to advance with Ushapti. Pretty much everything here in Puppy's army needs to collapse at the exact same time. That's the best way to defeat the dwarves. If you trickle in or send in a couple at a time, you are 100% going to lose the game. And this looks like fine timing. The Ushapti should be here in a second. Tomb Scorpions are causing some problems. And now the Carrion have jumped on top of the Iron Drakes. Now for Puppy, it's also very important to not send in all the Carrion at once, in my opinion. You want to leave a couple of Carrion as vultures or to trickle them in, right? Because these Iron Drakes will be shut down for a long period of time. But when they escape, you can send in your next wave and your next wave. And, this entire time, when the Iron Drakes aren't shooting, the Dwarf front line is getting wrecked, right? Like, the Ushapti, Skeleton Warriors, all these bad boys will decimate this Dwarven front line, like, 100%. So, but again, the Iron Drakes are the neutralizing factor. That's what usually wins it. So, Flame Cannon's going, and honestly not doing too much. Skeleton Warriors here breaking, no surprise there. And Kotep gets a little bit trapped up, unfortunately, by some of those Longbeards, takes some damage, and also gets blasted by some of the Trollhammer Torpedoes. Really good conservative play here from Puppy, I have to say. Sending in the Carrion in waves, of course, is very smart, pulling back, and just, methodically disrupting here. But this could actually be a big problem here. If Kotep gets blasted by those Trollhammer Torpedoes... Oh, no! Kotep's getting deleted! Oh, God! The Trollhammer Torpedoes! Oh, Kotep! -16. Kotep should stabilize here. Drops a fat Sandstorm right there. Balance of Power does pull into the favor here of the Dwarves. Man, yeah, you definitely got to get some... Like, that, the Archon is really good in this matchup because you could drop Skeletons in the back line, and also the Buna can be useful in Spirit Leeches for taking out these targets. But yeah, the reason why the Balance of Power is bad for Tomb Kings right now is because Kotep is low. I mean, aside from that, the battle isn't going terribly. The flame cannon has actually been shut down. You can see here it's not shooting. The Troll Armor Torpedo is a little bit mucked up as well, but this is where some carrying in the back would be so good. It looks like Happy Puppy may oblige us with that. Anticity, of course, has a pretty good defensive position. He's got Slayers, you know, peeling through all the chaff here, but there is a fat Tomb Scorpion back here. There's carrion causing disruption, but both Kotep and the Necrotect are very low. Perhaps if they can be saved. And there's still another Tomb Scorpion in the back. That Tomb Scorpion should be brought over here to help kind of grind through those Trollhammers, because if you can kill the Trollhammers, man, like, the world is your oyster. There's so many things that are going to be going for you if you can bring them down. The Constructs, of course, will take damage from Slayers, but it's not like game-ending damage. It's like more slow, progressive damage, whereas the Iron Drakes with the Troll Hammer Torpedoes just butter your bread. And they're not immune to Psychology, right? If you have some carrying up in the sky here like Puppy does, you can simply chase off the Iron Drakes when they're broken or they get terror routed. You can really put some good pressure on them, which is definitely very impactful. And honestly, it's a pretty close game. If not for the characters, this would be, you know, more or less a dead even scrap as it pertains to the balance of power. It's just Kotep and the Necrotect are both super damaged, which really sucks because they can get in and do some work on their chariots. I definitely think bringing one regular chariot as well is also very, very good. But will the Trollhammer Torpedoes get back online? The Tomb Scorpions are causing some beautiful disruption. As far as kills, only 17 here and 27 here, but, you know, every dwarf you can take down is certainly valuable. But if any of the Trollhammers live and, you know, the Slayers are there to defend them, I think the dwarves probably will take this game. You also have to remember that Grombrindle, the White Dwarf, is here, and he's going deep in these boys, man. He's got a great AP value, high melee attack at 70. He's definitely very equipped to cut down some of these constructs right here, so we'll see if Gromby is able to do that, and he certainly seems to be doing so. So yeah, Puppy will have the constructs, the Tomb Scorpions, but the supporting elements more or less are gone. Ooh, oh no, Kotep was about to drop a Sandstorm right on that Dwarven blob right there, but then the dreaded Trollhammer just pounded him to dust, which is certainly tough. Yeah, both Scorpions still functional, which is very, very good at this point in the game, but I just think without the characters left, if you had Kotep plus the Necrotect kind of still riding around causing problems, I think like the Dwarves might lose this, but with the characters being gooned out, Anticity did a really good job of focusing them down, so that's probably going to be all she wrote for the forces of the Tomb Kings. Kotep has certainly cackled for the last time. Tomb Scorpion here crumbling. Of course, Slayers are a pretty exceptional tool at cutting through such units. Some delicious water, guys. Stay hydrated. Crumbling. The Lord has recently died. The Scorpion is not happy about Kotep's fate. And that is going to be the death blow. Very well played, though. It's a good game, honestly. That was a really good scrap. You know, we'll win almost 6 or 7 minutes, and it's a very tough matchup for the Tomb Kings. And yeah, Puppy put on a great show, so well played, you. Well played. Darude was terminated. Yes, indeed. All right, my friends. And now we go to the next game. Zablasky, you are indeed up. If you're still watching here, I see you in chat. You will face the mighty Anticity to see who will go forward. All right. So we'll get Zablasky here. I'll tag you in the Discord. All right, perfect. Perfect. And we'll get you going. Zablasky, you know this. For the next map, we shall do we did Tower of Hoeth. Let's see here. Just sort of Torgald. Storm Demon's actually a cool map. Let's do that one. It has a really small deployment zone, but for the most part, yeah, I think it does the trick. You hope Zablasky wins? Well, he certainly could. It's going to be a good scrap. And again, if you guys are looking into the Everchosen qualifiers, you can see here. These are the qualifiers that are going to be getting hosted so far. Mine is to be determined. And of course, we have my son Herbert Walker on the 10th, Aerocrastic on the 11th. Those will be the last qualifiers. Dobbs is going to be this weekend. And I think he's already got like 70 or 80 people signed up. It's going to be a long one. If you guys haven't played in tournaments before, just be cognizant that it's a long process, man. Especially if you get to the finals, the tournaments can go like 5 or 6 hours. They're pretty balls deep. So just be aware of that before you sign up. It can be quite a commitment. Granted, you can drop, but you know, It's a long run, man. It's a long time. So there are the qualifier dates again, if you guys have missed those, and you can get information regarding them in the Discords and all that sort of good stuff. So, all right, guys, let us go to the local recording. Back to the King of the Hill. The current champ is, I got to change it. It's Inticity now, yes. With his first win, if I'm not mistaken. Because, of course, he did step in. So I think the champ, somebody had 3 or something. I don't think anybody's gotten past like 2, right? So for the most part, we could just leave it as is. We'll see who wins the King of the Hill. It is Italian Spartacus in chat. It is him. The man, the myth, the legend, soon to have his glorious check mark as he has broken 100K. Dude, how hyped are you for that check mark, Ryan? It's such a small thing, but it's so fun. All right. So we're on the Storm Demon, and the players are doing their picks and bans, and we're just going to hang out and have some fun in the meantime and enjoy life. Banning greenskins and going wood elves. Very good. So we got wood elves. Oh, please don't give us wood elves versus dwarves. Oh, God. Oh, no, not wood elves versus dwarves. Please. Not this matchup, dude. Oh, why you got to do it to this? Ryan says, give me the check. Yeah. Yeah, and also if you guys are looking to so Italian Spartacus, of course, covering all sorts of dank games right now. So he's been teaching me how to play Crusader Kings. So I was actually telling them, Spartacus or Ryan, I'm just going to call you Ryan. It just feels now more natural to me. I was telling them, Spartacus, Ryan, that we were going to be streaming some Crusader Kings next week. Most likely on Monday. We're not 100% sure, but and that he's been teaching me. So if you guys want to learn how to play Crusader Kings and Bannerlord, as well as Total War, head on over to Ryan's channel, Italian Spartacus. He's been a great friend of mine for a long time. We've known each other since 2006, I think. Yeah, it's been quite a journey we've been on, man. So if you guys haven't seen his channel, it's a glorious place to be. All right, so it's going to be High Elves versus Wood Elves, I think. Inticity going High Elves here. Okay, so the dreaded matchup has been evaded for now, which is good. Life is good, my friends. All right. Yeah, dude, oh my god. So back in we could even have story time too about that, you know? Story time of Italian Spartacus and Turin's adventures in college. I mean, there wasn't anything too wild, honestly. When you and I were in college together, it was mostly just playing World of Warcraft until like 5 a.m., sleeping through class, and then going to like Jack in the Box and or Denny's at like 5 a.m. and just like eating the grossest stuff ever. Holy shit, man. That was like a pretty grungy ass time in my life. Ironically, that was like the fittest I ever was, is when you knew me, Ryan. Back then. Yeah, that was something. Oscar says, 40K question, are bikes good for CSMs? You know, honestly, Oscar, I don't think it's going to be... Currently, I don't think they're that good. I wouldn't invest money into them yet. Most Chaos lists aren't using bikes, Oscar. Maybe they'll get an update when Chaos gets their new codex, but for now, I wouldn't bother, honestly. Most Chaos lists, or good ones, don't use it, so... A podcast with Adventure Time? I know. We could do that. We will do that eventually. Dude, we used to go to Denny's just like, oh, that place was so foul. It's like now I realize it, but like at the time I thought it was so good. Shredded wheat, dude. That's so funny. Oh my god. Perfect. Players are loading in to the dreaded Storm Demon. It's a fun map for sure. All right, my friends, and here we are. Glorious times indeed. We have the forces of Anticity going to be facing off against the Eternal Guard of Zablaski, the Wood Elves. So we have an Elvish duel. I haven't tried Star Wars Armada yet. I might actually try it. Yeah. I'll give it a look. I will give it a look. Italian Spartacus says, the Crypt Keeper. There was literally this really old waitress who was like 98 and she'd always poke Turin with her little bony fingers. Oh my god, dude. Dude, yeah, the breakfast, the 5 a.m. breakfasts are... And it's not even because you woke up early. It's because you were just up that late. After, like, raiding Karazhan or some, like, other haggard, raid in Burning Crusade. All right, guys. Overwhelmed with nostalgia. For Anticity, he's going to be facing Wood Elves, and he has Teclis. Teclis, of course, has nets. Nets are good with archers and heavy cav, so pretty self-explanatory there. For his main battle line, it's going to be archers backed up or fronted by Lothern Sea Guard, spears, and then a bunch of Dragon Princes. So many of the proven things against Wood Elves, right? Dragon Princes wreck Wood Elf cav, pretty good against infantry. And in terms of archer trades, I mean, Lothern Sea Guard do have Silver Shield, so they actually can trade somewhat well in those various battles. There's also a Bolt Thrower in the back, which can force the Wood Elves to come do some glorious battle here. Zablaski with triple Way Watcher. Front line's going to be Eternal Guard with Dryads and Wild Riders, and looks like a pigeon up in the sky with Pravenoth Rema and a Life Caster. Yeah, Ryan and I could do a story time. We'll do a story time podcast. We'll shoot the shit about. It'll just be like a casual, no real topic. We just kind of have fun and talk about the good old days. Yeah. So the Wood Elves are advancing on the High Elf position. Obviously, the Bolt Thrower does give the High Elves the range advantage. So the Wood Elves are essentially going to be forced to come in and do glorious battle here. Hawkeyes of Jakira hit pretty hard, though. I mean, if Teclis, for example, rides too far ahead, gets caught. He does have Potion of Croy and Regrowth, so he can survive it, but it could potentially, like, one-shot him. I mean, look at that. Not the best damage, actually. These Spearmen really tanked that quite well. They do have Silver Shield, so 50% of that damage is mitigated, which is super cost-effective. But nonetheless, it looks like Zablaski just going for it, man. He's just like, screw this shit. I'm doing it. Let's go after the Spearmen. 26 leadership on these bad boys. 27 right now. But yeah, that's a really, really good trade here for Anticity. So Anticity is advancing with his main force. Honestly, though, Teclis is a little bit far forward. I think if the Pigeon comes in and drops a Pravenoth Rema, Teclis could get gooned really, really hard here. Potion of Croy, I think, would save the life here of Teclis. It's hard to say. Yeah. Yeah, it's something. Italian Spartacus saying, after I transferred, he used to... Yeah, dude, I love hot dogs. Hot dogs was probably my most common food I ate in college. Just good old-fashioned American hot dogs with ketchup. Yeah, it was pretty foul. Hawkeyes of Jakira now taking some counterfire, but of course they do have the range advantage with 190 and the ability to shoot on the run, so they can, get some optimal trades with archers. But with Lothern Sea Guard, it's still, you have to get through the Silver Shields. The Silver Shields here are, pretty substantial for sure, and ammunition is a big part of the a big part of the balance of power here for the Wood Elves, right? So even if they're not losing things, like if their ammo goes on these expensive archer units, you'll really actually notice it in the balance of power. So something to consider. Anticity with a very tactical approach. He does, of course, have his Dragon Princes waiting on the hills, being very cautious, and it seems like he's just trying to waste the ammo of Zablaski. He's not really trying to press the issue. In the back, I think we still actually do have the Bolt Thrower. I think it's still shooting. Or moving, at least. Yeah, it's not going yet. So the Bolt Thrower could easily, start going in spray fire mode or single target mode and dealing with Wild Riders and targets like that. Storm Demon does have some weird hills, though, and like some terrain here in the center of the map. So you'll notice that, like, these slopes, like those Way Watchers, like a couple of their shots did indeed hit that slope there. That was a big brain fart for sure. Certainly very signature stuff here on the channel as I ramble incoherently and talk about Warhammer. Ammunition at half for the Way Watchers. Yeah, 60% here, 50% here, 50%. Yeah, a little bit above. Honestly, ammunition's pretty good, but, Anticity's ammo is way better. He has a lot of ammunition saved, but looks like an Earthblood going down to heal up those Way Watchers, who have only lost one model in total, actually. Looks like one of the Hawkeyes of Jakira have been pounded. Not really sure what the Bolt Thrower is shooting also. Bolt Thrower is, yeah, I think it's trying to shoot at the Way Watchers with single fire. I think going spray fire mode would be a little bit more efficient against, like, these type of units. Although I'm not really sure. Let's go ahead and keep tabs on what he's shooting at. I think Anticity is running to line of sight issues with the Bolt Thrower. Something else that Anticity could do is that during the main battling, he could actually get his Bolt Thrower and have it just sit on top of the Glade Lord the entire time and potentially get some value there. Wood Elves are running a little bit danger low in ammo, and I mean, the things they've hurt, it's not that significant. I mean, the archers are still functional for the most part. The Spearmen here, of course, 65 models. And yeah, I mean, it doesn't matter that much. Because the Wood Elf infantry will advance, will pressure the archers, but you have to remember, they're going to be facing the fully armed and erect might here of the Dragon Prince station. Those Dragon Princes, dude, are so good at running down Wood Elf infantry. I don't care if you're holding a spear, your 40 armor is not going to save you. And, you know, he could, if he braces perfectly across the battle lines, he could potentially do that. But yeah, like, the Dragon Princes aren't taking any damage, guys. Like, none. And here you can see Zablaski sitting over here with his Glade Lord. Let's go ahead and check. They're just saying good luck, have fun. And he's trying to pick off some Dragon Princes, which is a good play. For sure. If you could kind of sit here and do it. Get a couple models here and there. Can't complain about that. Dean Lerner's Gentleman's Club. Thank you for the 647 for Athaloran turn. If you could be on any ship or waterborne craft. If I could be any ship. Oh my god, I have no idea. You know, probably a submarine. Because I'm really fascinated by the deep sea. And like knowing how little of the actual ocean has been explored and the species that are down there. Like, so definitely being able to explore the deep sea would be something I would prefer if I had to be a craft. If I was a sentient submarine. There you go. Thank you so much, man. So now the princes are going to start going crazy. Here they come down and really hammer into those dryads, which will probably break very, very quickly. Dryads do have pretty good leadership for a quote-unquote chaff unit. On the far side, Anticity going to be doing the same thing. He's just kind of lurking with his princes, and you can see what I mean. If the Eternal Guard are not braced by Zablaski... Oh, really nice Pravenoth Ramo by Zablaski. That was a beaut right there. Nice one, dude. So the Prey able to break that charge. Now Azrai Spears will get in there. Eternal Guard will get in there. That was good. Not too much missile follow-up, though, which is unfortunate. The Dragon Princes will still get away somewhat healthy. And on the far side, we have a duel between Dragon Princes and the Wild Hunters of Kurnus, who do actually have Flesh to Stone, but look at that. Anticity actually nets them with Teclis. Pretty much wastes their buff with the Regrowth and the Flesh to Stone, and then countercharges them with the other Dragon Princes. That was a really, really good trade there for Anticity. But on the other side as well, you can see here, yeah, the Dragon Princes not being pulled out of combat, so a bit of a lapse of micro here from Anticity. Those Dragon Princes staying there and fighting Spears is certainly not a great trade for them. Certainly not something to write home about. And here, honestly, Zablaski doing a pretty good job, you know, restabilizing here. So Way Watchers are so low on ammo, though, man. One unit of Dragon Princes is, how low are they? They're pretty close to breaking, I guess. Nah, 23 leadership. Dragon Princes have pretty insane leadership. And now he's going to be charging here. So a big problem for Zablaski is that if the Wild Hunters of Kurnus do buckle, man, Flesh to Stone lasts so goddamn long. It gives him 100 armor, though, which is crazy. But if they break, then suddenly these three archers back here are just going to be, you know, chum, basically, for the Dragon Princes, who are going to be hunting those bad boys down. We will see how it unfolds. Now, in the back line, you can see Dryads pushing into archer lines. Lothar and Seaguard are running for their lives from spears. So Zablaski actually doing very well in this particular engagement, right? A couple units of Eternal Guards are just chasing down archers, which is really, really good value, especially considering Lothar and Seaguard are a more expensive unit. Yeah, quite a good battle indeed. And here you can see the Wild Hunters of Kurnus are being chased off the battlefield. Although, honestly, the Way Watcher pick at this point doesn't really matter. I mean, they're so empty on ammo. I think they all literally have like one volley left or like half a volley. I don't think it's going to be terribly substantial. You know, the thing is, too, is like without the arrows, I think maybe the Dragon Princes might be able to carry this game, especially considering Lothar and Seaguard aren't terrible in melee. But yeah, the Dryads are chasing off a lot of Elvish forces here. This is actually really painful. Oh, man. Look at this. Archers plus Lothar and Seaguard, both of whom have good models, are being chased off by some just beat-ass Dryads right here, which is definitely not fun. And some Dragon Princes might be able to save them, and if they are, I think that will be really good. Anticity actually coming back here with these Princes to chase them down, so he should be able to hunt into the night and do his thing, man. Yep, one of them rally. Dragon Princes will break them 100%. Lothar and Seaguard here ripping some shots as they are being attacked in the back by Eternal Guard, and these Lothar and Seaguard are running from Dryads. Now here we have another Pravenoth Raymond going down, so actually used onto the, ooh, nice, used on the Princes. And on top of that, Eternal Guard follow-up here, and the last of the ammunition on the Way Watchers is used to finish off those Dragon Princes, which is a great play. And suddenly Teclis is kind of finds himself in a bit of a precarious situation where he does have some Lothar and Seaguard over here, but it looks like Zablaski, despite the ammunition maybe not being, you know, used exactly how he wants it, it looks like he might be pulling ahead in this game. Because the Dragon Princes have been neutralized here in the fourth quarter of the match. But High Elves on this side of the map really securing this part of the Storm Demon. You can see these Eternal Guard are going to be shreked from all this crossfire. Yeah, Teclis just needs to survive, really. If Teclis can get over here and avoid that Eagle, he should be okay. I don't know about the Winds of Magic situation. Wood Elves do have a ton of Silver Shielded infantry left. Like Eternal Guard here. And Teclis is basically running for his life. Look at this guy go, man. He's hustling. Being hunted by the Spellsinger. She's got 94 against his 70, so Teclis riding the inferior horse here. The Wood Elf horse is a little bit quicker, apparently. Is that a unicorn? Why is Wood Elf horse so much faster than Teclis' horse? Teclis riding the big Chungus horse. It's trying to get away, but it's been eating too much apparently. So here comes Teclis getting back to his battle lines. I mean, Teclis probably could beat this character in combat with Potion of Croy, but obviously doesn't want to be doing that. Looks like the duel is commenced. Teclis has turned, and now we have the Haggard Wizard duel. Potion of Croy going to be giving him a free Earthblood, basically. Also 44% ward save. And the Spellsinger does also use the Opal Amulet, so both characters kind of using the tools they have here. I have to say, man, this is a great game. It's been a really, really scrappy match. So Anticity, actually, I did not see this. On the back of the map, he does have 8 princes here, and then a unit of 15, so 23 in total. And, you know, his archer lines are healthy. Like, despite the fact that Eternal Guard are shielded, that is a shit ton of archers. And Anticity, you saw in the early game, he was like almost not using his ammunition at all. Looks like Teclis is going to be going over here to assist in combat. Not sure why. There are spears and the potential for a Glade Lord to go after Teclis. Maybe going to be trying to get a Fiery Convocation or something, and you can see Anticity does pull back at that point. Yeah, so the High Elf Archer is doing a bunch of damage, man, but the Great Eagle could be an equalizer as well. The Great Eagle is pretty strong compared to a horse. So the Harry Potter battle, I know. It's like Gandalf and Saruman dueling in the tower when they're like spinning each other around, and that scene was pretty badass, man. God, I remember watching Lord of the Rings when I was like in 8th grade. In 9th grade. So I was, how old would I have been? Like 13? Watching it in theaters. Oh my god. The first time the charge at Pelennor Fields with the Rohirrim, dude, it's just like, those are like foundational experiences in life that I feel like everyone should have. Anyways, War Dancers with Azrai Spears now being focused by the archers, but the thing about War Dancers is they're super quick, and they also have the missile resist with the Woven Mist. It's not often you see that used, but it's actually super relevant here, because these ladies are going to be quite tanky now with their physical resist plus the Woven Mist. They'll take, you know, proportionally less damage. And we could see a Fiery Convocation, but honestly, I think Zablaski's got this. I just don't think Anticity is going to be able to pull his way back here with the princes. The archers are being hunted by Azrai Spears, who are really quick, 46 speed against, what, 33 here? Walther and Seaguard honestly might as well turn and fight at this point, because they're just going to take massive casualties as they're retreating instead of fighting. So yeah, they should just draw their halberds and fight. It's going to be an ugly fight for them, but you might be able to drag down a couple of these ladies before they go quietly into that good night. I mean, they do have 52 melee defense, right? Which isn't bad. Anticity, in the meantime, charging over here and cleaning up some of the Dryads with the remnants of his Dragon Princes, but there's so many spears left, guys. There are so many spears left in this battle. I mean, 50 Eternal Guard here. Like, what can the High Elves do against such reckless amount of spears? Yeah, 24 right here. The breakdancing Gandalf. Yeah, I've seen that. Oh, man. Yeah, and there you go, guys. Walther and Seaguard going to be broken down by Azrai Spears. Balance of power starting to look dangerous, but Anticity, ever the scrapper, man. Ever the scrapper. Just fighting to the bitter end here in the situation here against Zablaski. I mean, this would be a pretty insane comeback. Like, I feel like Zablaski is really in good shape with all the spears he has left. Anticity just making, like, excellent value out of what little prince count he has. That Eternal Guard just got landed super hard. He had some problems, man. He had some problems. So, elves everywhere. Glade Lord able to chase off a somewhat healthy unit of Eternal Guard. Here we have the Way Watchers. You always know it's a good multiplayer battle when the archers are having to fight each other. Like, you know, I think the best multiplayer battles are determined by cannon crews having to fight each other. Like, it's so desperate, it's so pitched that you have, like, a Hell Cannon crew fighting, like, you know, a Dwarven Cannon crew or something, right? Yeah, it's really, really good. Dragon Princes are still going, though, man. Is Anticity going to be able to work some magic? I don't know, man. He is actually able to break these Eternal Guard, and, like, these, you know, small unit of princes here, 12 of them, certainly can be super impactful for, like, rear charging things. But Azrai Spears, War Dancers in general, have insanely good leadership. You can actually see right now the leadership on these War Dancers is literally, like, almost 100. Yeah, 83. It was at, like, 98 for a second. Pretty insane for sure. But you can see the death knell here for the High Elves as the Eternal Guard Corps, as well as the Azrai Spears, finally do catch up to the Walther and Seaguard position. The Princes are just not point of no return, but they'll be impactful, but at this point they just aren't going to be able to do it. I have to say, I really thought Zablaski was in trouble this game with the ammunition issue in the beginning, but he saved what little ammunition he had and was able to finish off the Princes, and then his infantry actually won him the game. Because Anticity didn't have, like, Rangers or you know, Spearmen, really, aside from the couple. So Zablaski's infantry did carry that game, in my opinion. Yeah. And the Wood Elves win! Well played to Zablaski, man! A solid scrap. Today's King of the Hill is certainly a violent one, as no king is lasting longer than a couple minutes. My queen. There's Zablaski. Who will go? All right. right, guys. On the road again. I just can't wait to be on the road again. Playing King of the Hill with my friends. This is the Way, I think is his name. Way, this is the... You're up. Let me know if you can see the lobby. Cool. So we have our next challenger coming up here shortly. The Do Battle. Very well played. Zablasky with an amazing game. Yeah, it was the Flesh to Stone combo from Zablasky was really cool. So if you guys haven't seen that, one of the big issues with Wild Riders fighting Bretonnia and High Elves is dealing with heavy cav, but Flesh to Stone actually makes him super tanky. All right. Looks like he can see the lobby. The Way is here to do battle. We'll do Tomb of the Shifting Sands. No, that's the one with the giant hill in the middle. Oh, that map sucks. Sucks so bad. Volksgrad, I think, is a decent map. No, that map sucks. Hold on. Should we put them on the dreaded Essence of Chaos? The dreaded Essence of Chaos. Zeba does. All right, guys. You guys joked about it, but now it is finally here. We have a donation coming in from Bubba's Big Blast of $10. Bubba, I hope you're doing well. I've always thought Bubba is a badass name. We need to do an 8-player Heroes 3 tourney turn. It will take all day for a $10 gift card to Denny's. Dude, that sounds like a very inspired idea that I would actually seriously consider. The big problem with running a Heroes 3 10-man tournament, or with 8 players, is that since it's such an old game and you have to use third-party software to connect, crashing is really common. So it can get really gnarly. Like, I think an 8-player tourney, unless we did it on a small map and just had to be like an absurd Royal Rumble, Bubba, I'd be willing to compromise and do like a 4-player tournament for a Denny's gift card. Yeah. Yeah. Dude, Bubba, thank you so much for the donation, man. Yeah, and if you guys missed the announcement for Everchosen stuff, here's the qualifiers. So basically, Everchosen is switching from an invitational where, obviously you just invite people based on their merits and, who you know in the community and whatnot to, well, not their merits, but basically it's just an invitational event, right? For more of a showcase and whatnot, to a qualifier format. So basically, anyone can qualify for Everchosen now. So it's a really good chance to see some, new rising talent in the community come in and qualify and take down some of the old guard, or lose to them. You never know. But it's going to be great, man. So you just need to join my Discord and then stay tuned on the upcoming tournaments. The winner of each of these qualifiers will, of course, be doing some good old battle in the actual Creative Assembly sponsored Everchosen. So pretty cool stuff. All right, so let's go ahead and go back to the local recording there. Oh, he's going Wood Elves, so Tomb Kings. Okay. Okay, so we have Tomb Kings versus Dwarves here. So we saw this earlier. So now we get to see the other side of the coin. No ambush maps. Ambush maps are just silly. Yeah. It's fun like once a year, One sec, guys. I'm just shutting the blinds to my dungeon. So we have Tomb Kings versus Dawi on a very small map, Essence of Chaos. So honestly, if Wei just goes with Trollhammer Torpedoes, it should be fine. We will see, my friends. We will see. All right, guys, 1 second. Great, thank you for joining the lobby so quickly. One sec, guys. Cool. Dwarves versus Tomb Kings. Will Zablasky have a similar build to what we saw earlier with you Shopti, Tomb Scorpion Rush, or will we see something truly disturbing in the form of Bone Giants and all sorts of crazy stuff? Ambush battles are just like, it's kind of funny to watch, but it's so unfair. It is so unfair. Yeah. Yeah. Turin's birthday is every day, Jesus. It's not my birthday! I had my birthday in July a couple months ago. Jeez, that was like, time flies so quick. It feels like that was just yesterday, but I turned 32. So I'm getting up there on them crusty years. I just feel crusty. I'm not saying 32 is crusty, but I feel crusty. 364 times a year. Oh my god. All right, good luck, have fun. Zablaski is ready. The way is getting ready. Way is all set. So let's get this party started. Good luck to both players. Most likely get to see Slayers. Oh my god. You know, a mass like Slayer rush would be so funny. Like Longbeards backed up by like 4 of each Slayer type. Holy shit, that could actually work. I don't know. Well, probably not. I don't know. Zypho says you hosted an ambush tournament once. Oh my god. Ain't that something? Yeah, dwarfs have had definitely, you know, there have been some big dwarf wins in Everchosen. I'd have to go back and look. It's tricky to remember, but yeah, I remember there being some dwarf victories. We also, when Zach B. Sane qualified for the Everchosen Grand Finals, not Everchosen, but ECL Grand Finals, excuse me, he had some really good dwarf wins as well, like against great players. Yeah. Yeah, the ambushing tournament is just like, yeah, I don't know. It's a fun idea. I don't know if I'd want to do it. Like, I'd rather do like a King of the Hill or something, but yeah, it's something I'll consider. I don't even know how you would do that. Like, both players like ambush each other and whoever can like win advances on. Yeah. It's an ambush. I've seen ambushes won by the defender a couple times, because I did have ambush battles on stream once. It was like a while back. Are Beastmen competitively viable? Yeah, they are. They have some really bad matchups, but Beastmen like have a really solid, easy playstyle with just using Ungors and Spawn to rush people with summons. It's like, it's pretty straightforward. B Sweet, thank you for the $10 donation. He says, Heroes 3 for the win. Screw power. Dude, I hate power liches. Oh, I hate playing against them. It's really fun to use them, but dude, Necropolis is so good in Heroes 3. They're so powerful, and I only play the shitty faction, so I always get wrecked by them. But like when I was playing Heroes 3 against Pwn, he played Necropolis and I played Inferno, and I was able to win, but only because I caught him in the wild without having recruited his most fresh supply and with no magic reserves. Like, if it had been a fair fight, I would have lost 100%. Be Sweet, thank you so much. Thank you so much. So now for the forces here of the Jawi, let's take a look. We have a single organ gun. Okay, on a smaller map, that's good. Karam Brindle, we do have a Master Engineer too. Oh, what a G, man. I love me some Master Engineer action. Miners in the front, no blasting charges, Dwarf Warriors, Slayers, 2 guns, and Ulthar's Raiders, backed up by double Gyrocopter with the Brimstone guns. So certainly a very different style of play, but there is plenty of anti-construct via the Brimstone guns, the Master Engineer, and of course the Dwarven Thunderer. So I dig it, man. But what I'm really curious to see is Zablaski's build. Zablaski's got quad Great Bow. He's got double Necrotect, and on top of that, he does also have just Chaff into the Sunset, backed up by Grand Hierophant Kotep. Whoa! A wild Kotep has appeared! Alright, guys. This is very, very different than what you usually see in this matchup. Granted, it could work. I believe the Necrotechs have something that helps with missile resist. Do they? I could have sworn they did. Isn't there some item? Yeah, here it is. Yeah, the Stone Shaper. So they can give 10% missile against Thunders and Coilers. It can help for sure. Yeah, I don't know. This is an interesting one. It's a very small map, so the Organ Gun plus the Ushapi Great Bow will shoot right away. Yeah, I really have no predictions here. Ryan G, thank you for the $5 donation. Really appreciate that, man. Vampire counts kind of have an advantage in ambush. Yeah, Vampires definitely would be very happy in an ambush situation because they can just like attack you right away. Yeah. The thing about ambush battles, though, is even if you do have a good situation there, your army's still split out very long, and your opponent can deploy all their missiles in one spot and just like nuke anything in your army. Yeah. Yeah, gyrocopters are quite good. Anti-large and armor piercing on these guys, I mean, they're really good against great bows if they're not being shot at. So, like, for example, if they... It's going to have to be a quick reaction from Wei. He's going to have to get over here and, like, start hammering those Ushapti really, really quick. Like, while the Organ Gun is still alive. Because all 4 of those guys... Sorry, guys, I was just minimizing to check the scorecard. Are going to just go deep on that Organ Gun, like 100%. So, battle's underway. And now the Ushapti Great Bow... Or is he going to buff the shooting on them, too? Look at that. Petra's Incantation of Righteous Smiting. Oh, what a gangster, man. So, yeah, they get missile damage. All sorts of cool buffs there. Wow, look at that. Puts them up to freaking 310 missile strength. And the Organ Gun's getting pounded. Dwarfs need to advance hardcore. A small chance he might be able to save that Organ Gun. What's going on with that fire back there is just part of the map. It's like a Beastmen Wood Elf themed map where like the Beastmen are like having some weird Chaos Pyre or something. So Orkan Gun's getting some damage, but honestly might get gooned here, and it looks like some carrying are back here as well, and I don't know if the Dwarves want to defend this Organ Gun considering it's getting pounded, which isn't necessarily a bad idea. Like maybe letting it go is fine. Because just pushing into the Tomb King's lines, because they're going to run out of space, right? And like when Thunders can get in range of the Ushapti, that can be a huge bread-winning situation there. What does Katep do? Well, Katep has access to the lore of Nehekara, but he also has a free Vortex ability, which is okay. Arkan is much better, so etc. But, you know, I don't know if Zablaski's having fun or if it's a niche thing for him, but yeah, he's not terrible. He's got, you know, AoE and Lord of Nehekara, and he's very cheap too. So yeah, you can see now the Brimstone guns are shooting into the Ushapti, and the artillery in the back has been taken offline, so some of the Dwarf guns have turned about face and are shooting at some of the Carrion. Getting some damage in there, but for the most part, definitely probably a better trade for Zablaski. Carrion will probably lose the Thunders eventually, but it will take a long time, and that is valuable time that the Tomb Kings are going to be able to use Ushapti Great Bows and really just butter the bread of many of these flyers and different units there. So the Miners have made it in, but a little bit overextended. Definitely should pull those guys back right now, because they're basically just going to be given up to the chaff units here. Although Skeletons versus Miners is the ultimate Haggard chaff duel, so I don't think it's going to matter too much. So it looks like back here, Wei is actually opting to finish off the Carrion, or at least, you know, push some of them off. But the guns, like the Dwarven guns, need to be right here, right now. Right here, right now. Remember Fatboy Slim? And they need to be going after the Ushapti Great Bows and really, really just teeing off into those guys. A little bit of blobbing as well. Here you can see, like, you should only have one infantry unit here, but oh no! The Darude Sandstorm! I wish I could imitate it, but it's okay. The Dwarfs got lucky there, because the Sandstorm actually ended up killing more Skeletons, probably. Like, it just wrecked the Skeletons. Yeah, that's unfortunate. And now the Gyrocopters with the Brimstone guns are actually being sent after Katep here. Yeah. But a ton of crossfire going in. The Gyrocopters being focused down by 4 Ushapti Great Bows is no joke. Yeah, but a huge misplay from the Dwarves not having their guns up in position. Because, like, the Dwarf player is actually doing well in many respects. It's just the Dwarven guns and the Engineer need to be blasting these Ushapti. Like, he could by now maybe have 1 or 2 Ushapti units, like, close to death. But it's also a testament to how good the harass is in the back. Zablaski keeping those Carrion functional and really causing problems. Oh, look at that. Wei goes for a bombing run right there. Although bombs don't really do much against these type of units. Really good throwing axe play here, though. You can see the Ulthar's Raiders getting some good damage against those Ushapti. Potentially able to kill a model. We'll see. I think this volley will do some big damage. Probably will lose 1 or 2 there. Oh, no, yeah. The Restore actually saves him. Restore is really good. Freaking 960 HP. It's like almost half of a regrowth. Or a baseline regrowth. It's very close, actually. A little bit of overcast damage going down there on your boy Katep as the Tomb Kings are forced into the hills. The Carrion once again being sent to do battle with the Thunderers, which are stuck in combat here. So really the Dwarves, like keeping a Slayer back here or something just to deal with that would have been really good. And oh no, the Slayers are getting through. Look at the Dragonback Slayers, dude, just piling in. That's so awesome. Oh man, the Dwarves getting in there. Here they come. So, Dragonback Slayer's taking quite a bit of damage, but Gromby with a smoke bomb, does he hit anything? He hits these ones? No, man, Gromby whiffed on that smoke bomb. He was just out of range. But the Dragonback Slayers, I mean, you could have them just kill the Necrotex, but I think chasing the Ushapti Great Bows is definitely one of the right choices. Because the Tomb Kings will eventually lose the infantry trade, right? Like, hardcore. The Thunders are almost stable. Like I said, they're Dwarf Warriors still, right? They have okay combat stats. They can beat Carrion, but the guns haven't even really done much this game. You can see guard mode being used to shoot down those Carrion up in the sky, and the Master Engineer is also something too. But if the Dwarves overextend with Gromby and get picked apart, this is actually really good. He's like corralling. Grombrindle's like a border collie right now, just corralling a ton of angry Ushapti. And here you can see the Dragonback Slayers taking some heavy casualties as they push past the Necrotex. But they're certainly pretty quick here. Zablaski's trying to reform ranks, but the Tomb King's battle lines are looking very sparse. Here we still do have some Tomb Guard fighting. Tomb Guard, of course, are pretty formidable combatants there. So we'll see if the Dwarves are going to be sending any of their assets in there to deal with them. Both guns are online as well. They could come around the back if they want. Honestly, probably just cleaning up all the stuff down here would be the appropriate play. This is a really bad trade for the Slayers, too. Slayers, like, don't want to be fighting chaff units. King of the Dead making a prediction in chat saying, I don't think he's going to have enough ammo for all the infantry. It's hard to say. It's hard to say. Because, yeah, I mean, most of them are just... Well, I mean, what does he have? Dwarf Warriors, Dwarf Warriors. The Master Engineer could be an X Factor as well. Ushapti Summon has been used in the back, which is a great play. Because the Dwarven Thunders have pretty much have been shut down more or less this entire game, and he really needs them as this game does progress. So the Ushapti will be intercepted here by these Dwarf Warriors, and some nice crossfire going to peel for those guys. The poor Slayers fighting up in the high ground. Oh, but this is actually good. Gromby's whooping on these Necrotechs here, guys. With the Slayer support, losing both Necrotechs here would be a big oof for Zablasky. Just a big old thick oof. And it looks like Grombrindle's just, he's doing it, man. These guys have bonus versus infantry, but not the best AP. So yeah, they're both actually, or at least one of them's crumbling. Sandstorm going down to the back on top of the Slayers, and the Ushabti Great Bows are just on a great exodus into the Shadow Realm, trying to get away from the Dwarven lines. But the Master Engineer is now shooting them. Master Engineer does have an armor-piercing long rifle, so every couple shots from him should be able to pick off an Ushabti model. And yeah, being chased by these units definitely very painful. We look back over here, you can see the Necrotechs are in a world of trouble. As the White Dwarf, though he does take some big damage, him and the boys are able to win, it looks like. Elixir Might actually being used on these skeletons, putting him up to a whopping 38 weapon strength, which is substantial, actually. Yeah, Gromby, dude, Gromby's just going ham. Yeah, you can see this Necrotech here is taking a beating. Johannes from Sweden, hope you're doing well. Welcome to the stream, man. Grombrindle, 1400 HP. He's actually wavering, too, but a flash bomb going down. Oh, they're both so low. One of them's down, but Gromby actually breaks. No, the White Dwarf. Do not shame your ancestors. The Dwarf battle line's still going. The Thunders are now chasing the Ushabti Great Bows. He's actually a little bit close to army losses, the Dwarves are. That Necrotech, man. Yeah, Gromby should rally. Yeah, and Gromby's back. He still has 1,000 HP, you know? That's pretty good. So here comes the Necrotech, -2 leadership. Those Slayers did some good work, actually, man. Even though it wasn't the most efficient trade for them, they will be able to kill that Necrotech right now. So now if we go back to these lines, ammunition's pretty good here for the Tomb Kings. Ushabti Great Bow still fighting. We even have some Tomb Guard and infantry. Yeah, I think Nahakar Warriors fighting there on the far side. The Dwarves are basically moving across the map to try and intercept them. That balance of power is pretty grim, but, you know, there's certainly a ton of Dwarven chaff on the battlefield that could take a while to kill, but the thing is Ushabti aren't fearless and unbreakable as Grombrindle's Brit. Yeah, Gromby should be unbreakable, I think. Like, from a lore perspective, and even from gameplay, it wouldn't be that big of a deal. It would give the Dwarves an actual good competitive lord, right? Something to think about. So, the Necrotech has finally crumbled. At least Grombrindle was able to finally win that battle. And now the Master Engineer is going to be trying to hard carry this. Yeah, Dwarves just need to keep marching, man. Just keep doing it. It looks like the Tomb Guard are attacking as well, so Zablasky's coming over here with the Tomb Guard. What the Dwarves should do here is attack with their infantry and get a full surround on the Tomb Guard if they can. Granted, it looks like there's another unit of Tomb Guards. These Dwarves might actually lose that fight. Thunders are almost in range here of these Ushabti Great Bow. The Rangers are on the hunt as well. By Dwarf standards, they're relatively quick. But it's going to take some time to catch these. Of course, some of you guys are probably wondering how long can the Tomb Kings kite? Well, they can kite for as long as they have infantry fighting, right? So here, you see the Tomb Guard are on the hunt. He's actively attacking with those units, so the Ushabti can keep cackling and running around the map for now, so. That is that. Thunder's unleashing some shots. It looks like there was Dejav's Incantation of Blades being used here, but the reason why he cast that was to trigger the healing passive, I think, from the Lore of Nahakara. Yeah, now we have some of the Rangers actually getting some good throwing axes here into the Ushabti. Grombrindle has emerged from his mountain den, pushing across the map. Zablasky pretty comfortably ahead in the bounce of power now, but I've seen many games like this with Tomb Kings where like you may have traded well with your when your lines were active, but when you don't have, you know, something to hold back the Dwarven tide, it could be a pretty tricky pickle. So the Dwarven guns unleashing some nice volleys. Master Engineer ripping some shots as well and missing, unfortunately, but those Ushabti are getting pretty close to crumbling. How are the Dwarves going to actually deal with these Tomb Guard too? That's something else to consider. Miners are almost catching those guys. And Grombrindle is hustling, man. Ammunition on the Ushabti is pretty good. I mean, we have some up on the high ground here. We have about 30% right here as well. Is this Dwarves Zach? Dwarves have done well in my tournaments. You guys got to go watch the Zach P. Sane games from the ECL Qualifier. He was able to do really well with them. Really, really well indeed. These Ushabti are in critical binding. 15 leadership. The Master Engineer, very healthy on ammunition. And it looks like here some of the Nahakar Warriors are defeated by, I think, some Longbeards here. Actually, no, they're just Dwarf Warriors, so. Dwarf Warriors are heavily outclassed in terms of combat stats compared to Tomb Guard. If you look at Tomb Guard, they actually have combat stats in the 30s and 40s. Yeah, it's 33-42, and compared to stats, 22-40. But the armor really does help in that trade there. Anyways, Nahakar Warriors crumbling down. Some of the miners finally able to catch some of the Ushabti here. The Dwarven guns ripping a couple shots, and they'll probably break. It looks like they are going to get some punishing damage against the Ushabti Great Bow here. Enough to maybe crumble them to the point of being a non-factor. And here we have the Master Engineer. Master Engineer, of course, going fisticuffs with these Tomb Guard here. And you can see 84 models here, man. For 84 kills in the Tomb Guard, they put in work this game, but the Master Engineer does have 120 armor. Like, even, you would think like a Dwarven support character, like, oh, it's like a caster, but no, the Dwarves are a stalwart people, so Tomb Guard will take a long time to kill a Master Engineer, but they probably will be able to win that eventually. So Dwarves definitely want to get some help here. Gromby's coming as well. Gromby could help. Balance of Power is creeping back, guys. The Balance of Power is creeping back pretty hard, and you can see the Ushabti Greatbow unit is crumbling. The one that the Dwarven guns were able to shoot at before they broke. Kotzip over here, riding on his mighty horse, using the Arcane Conduit and the Curse Blades on himself, actually, to proc the healing. And also to go in and potentially, make sure these Dwarf Warriors don't come back. Because 36 Warriors is no joke. And now Grombrindle's back, and he's certainly doing well for himself. The proud Dwarven Lords and Heroes fighting shoulder to shoulder. Heroes Incantation of Protection going down from Kotzip, giving those bad boys some juicy ward save, but it's looking a little bit scary here. One thing that could just straight up lose the Dwarves the game is if they don't unify their forces at some point, the Ushabti could actually, engage in melee. I'd be surprised that Zablaski doesn't just get all these Ushabti in melee and charge these miners and just break them right now. They would just get broken if the Ushabti swarm them. There are some Rangers and Dwarf Warriors and other assets here as well. Yeah, I guess there's still a fair amount of Dwarves everywhere, right? And, the Master Engineer could be the X factor that wins this game. His shooting against the Ushabti, he's picking them off. Let's get a shot of his long rifle right down the scope right there. I'm not sure what he's shooting at, either Kotzip or these great bows. Yeah, we will see. Yeah, it would actually be really nice in spectator tools if the spectator could pause the game, even in live games, if there's a rules thing or something like that. But there's no problems here, obviously. But that was a feature I actually was asking about. I saw somebody in chat here mention it. So those Tomb Guard are still weak binding, man. Great leadership on them. I don't know where Gromby's going. Gromby definitely should keep fighting here. He's doing damage while also staying hidden from the great bows, because now he's in open field, and these Ushabti great bow could potentially kill him. But it looks like they're going after the Master Engineer, which I don't blame them. That guy's an unholy terror here. And are these Tomb Guard crumbling yet? Man. Look at that. 18 models. Negative 19. It looks like they're finally crumbling, so they will start taking 10 HP damage per second. And here in the back, we do have a Darude Sandstorm going down, I think. Oh, look at that. They're dropping the fat techno beats, is DJ Kotzip. And it's able to break the Dwarves back there, so those Dwarf infantry are broken. The Dwarves need to unify whatever forces they have. Oh, look at that. There's actually a couple Slayers just hanging out by these trees here. Yeah. Look at that. Look at that indeed. The proud Dwarves and their Mohawks hanging out. Got to make sure Gromby has some help, though. He can't be standing alone. Ulthar's Raiders actually aren't bad in melee, too. They have pretty good AP values with their great weapons. So against the Constructs, if they can clear out these Tomb Guard, that could be very, very impactful. Tomb Guard at -1 leadership for a second. It looks like the other unit is crumbling down, so they're at -11. Should probably be going. And now the Altar's Raiders are going to be zerged by the Ushabti, and that's going to be good damage. Gromby's coming in, Master Engineer as well. I think that Zablasti's got this. It was a really, really good game. Certainly back and forth. Yeah, seeing Winds of Magic too is another one that would be really useful as a spectator tool. Yeah, the Great Bows, man, doing too much work to Gromby. He's so low. And he's not breaking this time, though, but he will in a second. -63. That's going to be army losses here for the Dwarves. Well played, man. Zablaski's a fearsome foe, and Wei, you did a great job, but losing the Organ Gun early and having your guns not engage with the rest of your army, I think, cost him the game. A game which he could have won, for sure. Zablaski pulled it out. GG, well played. A solid 14-minute affair. And there you have it, guys. So Zablaski winning a couple games in a row. Very uncommon on today's stream. Miners are indeed a useful unit. Some Blasting Charge is always helpful, too, against Tomb Guard. Yeah, the build was fine, honestly. I think just either defending the Organ Gun or advancing with your guns at the same time would have won him the game. All right, let's do it, man. Let's slap this beast up. GG, well played. Next up, we have Outer Region. Outer Region, of course, a very, very good Beastman player, so maybe you guys will get your wishes of a glorious Beastman situation. All right. Cool. So let's get Outer Region here. Let's have some fun. Oh, wow. Already here. Awesome. Let's find a good map here. How about not the Moonbow? I wish every battle could just be on Troll Country. I think it's time for some Glacial Lake. One of my favorite maps from Warhammer 1. Although we'll save Glacial Lake to close out the stream. We could do Summer Song. I think Summer Song's a pretty good map. Zablaski's like, I totally forgot the map was that small. It actually ended up being good for Zablaski, though, because it meant his Great Bows could kill the organ gun really quick. Senior says, pizza tastes a million times better during a Turin stream. Dude, I'm jealous, man. Turin, if you had to play yourself, who would win? Probably my evil clone. Yeah, the evil clone would probably win, because it probably wouldn't have my hand problems. Although, the problems are getting better, guys. I'm on the mend. The surgery was a success, and it's going to be a long road to recovery in terms of like being normal again, but I'm actually on the road now, which is good. Before, I was just in a downward spiral, so... Recovering, guys. Life is good. Thanks to all of you guys and your support. I mean, you guys are the reason why I was able to afford surgery, and with your generous donations and just hanging out and watching my videos. So I can't thank you guys enough, man. Like, made a big difference in my life. Very touching moment there. Yes. Perfect. Settings are all good. Zablaski is our current king of the hill with a mighty 2 wins. Let's see if anybody can get past that today. They're doing their picks and bans right now. Miners with blasting charges probably beat Foot Squires 1v1. Probably, yeah. If they get their blasting charges off, of course. I mean, not of course, but maybe. Yeah. Maybe so. You guys did it. You saved me, brothers. Who would win? A 3'6" Steven Seagal or turn without... Dude, I would kick the shit out of a 3'6" Steven Seagal. 100%. I'm actually confident that even with my hand problem I have now, like I could take a 65, 70-year-old Steven Seagal, however old he is. You know? I do have some martial arts experience, but you know, yeah, I have one hand. One of my hands is actually pretty functional. It's just the right one that's on the mend, so. Cartel Shell, thank you for the tenor, man. Appreciate it. I do appreciate that. Thank you so much for the $10 donation, dude. All right, so we got Greenskins versus Wood Elves. Zablaski on his Wood Elves and Outer Region good to be on Greenskins. So you guys ready for some Stone Trolls? You know what we never see is the freaking... we never see the, what's it called? The River Trolls, like ever. Ever. Yeah, I mean, look, if Steven Seagal was my age and my health and my age, and like, I'm sure he could beat me up, but I'm saying like Steven Seagal in his current state is like a senior citizen. So what's my 3-1 lift max? So when I was, if you're talking about bench press, when I was, the most I've ever been able to bench in one repetition, I think was like, I was pretty close to getting 300. I think it was 295. I don't think that's a 1 rep. Because then I had like a really bad strain in my pec muscle and I never was able to get back there. I really beat my body up when I was young. But yeah, I was pretty good at bench press. I could rep 225 like many, many times. I could do like, I think like 45 pull-ups. I used to do pull-ups with weight vests, and that's partially what messed up my freaking shoulders. And yeah, I was pretty into fitness at one point, but now I'm just a shade of what I once was. River Trolls are interesting. They're interesting, yeah. I wish they had more applications. I donated $1,000 to fight elderly Seagal. He's definitely like a fraud in terms of actual martial arts, in my opinion. It's my opinion. Remember, I could be wrong, but that's just the opinion I hold, you know? Yeah. John Perks, thank you so much. Really appreciate it. Welcome to the Dukes of Haggard, brother. Dude, I'll fight King of the Dead for $1,000. 100%. Just wait for my hand to heal. Yeah, you give me a year, dude. Oh, it's on. Yeah, Darko, man, it adds up, you know? Like, I was really reckless. I used to work out like 5 or 6 days a week and like do chest and arms and shoulders like every day. Like not take rest days in between them, and I just mangled my body. Yeah. Will B, what's up, man? Yeah. I was really stupid with fitness, which is a shame because I loved it so much, but I was just so dumb. I just like destroyed my shoulders, and I had so many pec strains, and I had a partial tear there as well. It was just, ugh. Yeah, I think I would rather do low weight, high reps like nowadays. Like a cage fight, dude. Oh, well, once the Rona calms down, sure, King, we can do that. It'd have to be for charity, though. And you have to dress up in a wrestling costume also. And you have to wear like one of those WWE like kind of ridiculous costumes. Dude, I like look. Though I think Steven Seagal is a bit of a meme. I loved his '90s movies. Like the Under Siege series is so. I'm just the cook. It's so good, dude. Oh man. Yeah, I wish I had been smarter when I was younger, dude. I was so dumb with fitness. I was so stupid. I would just take like creatine and just freaking like pump the weights like just 5 days a week, and like I felt like I was invincible. But when I like got to my early 20s, it started to catch up with me. Oh, King, you have an actual wrestling costume? Dude, you got to send me a picture of that, man. I've never seen it. And your character's named King? Dude, King of the Dead already has a wrestling costume. Dude, that is so badass, bro. King of the Dead, what a champion, dude. He's just going to be dropping some RKOs and people's elbows. Dude, Cartel Shell Under Siege was so good. Above the Law was a pretty good one with Seagal. What's the name of the Steven Seagal movie where he like goes to that like Native American and he's like battling the lumberjacks with like the Native Americans? That movie was pretty fun too. Yeah, I don't know. I can't remember, but honestly, yeah, Chuck Norris movies were great too. But there was something like ridiculous about Steven Seagal movies. There's nothing like there's this Steven Seagal movie where he's like later in his life, so obviously he's probably like late 50s and he's like very obese at that point, but he's like a vampire slayer. So Steven Seagal like fights vampires. It's so funny, dude. Oh my god, I can't remember it. It's just like so haggard. Glimmer Man, I can't remember that off the top of my head. If I saw the poster, I'd probably recognize it. Yeah, all Steven Seagal movies are the same. Okay, so Steven Seagal's movie formula. They killed my dog, my wife, my daughter, my best friend. I'm an ex-cop, CIA, black ops, secret operative of some sort, and I'm out for revenge. Like, that's like 90% of Steven Seagal movies. There are a couple that are a little bit different, like where he's just like gets caught in a bad situation, but generally that formula fits every single Steven Seagal movie. Oh yeah, King, send it, man. You want to show off your badass wrestling stuff? For sure. The one with DMX? Oh, I don't remember what it's called, but I have seen it. So my dad and I, we used to, when I was in college, so when I was like 10 years ago, my dad used to come visit me in college when he was in town doing auditions. And we would actually sit, like just hang out, just eating pizza and watching like terrible Steven Seagal movies. And we would just like laugh. And it's like some of the most fond memories I have with my dad. Like we used to just sit and laugh at like shitty Steven Seagal movies and like, because my dad's an actor, so we used to just like, oh my god, laugh so hard at the acting, and oh, it was so good. All right, guys, now back to Warhammer. Enough rambling for now. Yeah, Jason Statham films are very similar, for sure. I'm an ex-cop, CIA, Black Ops, Green Beret, SAS. You know, it's like, it's always something like that, you know? Yeah. All right, guys, so for the forces here of Zablasky, he's coming in with not Triple Waywatcher, actually. It's going to be Deepwood Scouts. You don't need as much AP against Greenskins, and Deepwood Scouts, actually with the Swift Shiver Shards, hit very, very hard. So they can really wreck things on the approach, and yeah, are quite solid. So here we do have a bunch of Dryads in the front, mixed with War Dancers. So Zablasky actually with a very aggressive build, backed up by an Ancient Tree Man. So a terror-causing monster, which can handle a lot of Greenskin threats. So I definitely like the Ancient Tree Man. On top of that, Zablasky rocking Sisters of Thorn and I believe Wild Riders, or Double Sister on the far side. Sister, perhaps so. And that is it. That is it, my friends. And now for the forces here of Outer Region, a massive skirmishing corps. So it looks like Outer Region was expecting a bit of a kite build, but he's not getting that, which makes me concerned that his front line might be a little bit weak against the front line here of Zablasky. He's got like Night Goblins, things like that. He's got Grom the Paunch, who is very good against infantry, River Troll Hag, and in the back, Goblin Rocklobber, defended by Savage Orc Biggins. A triple artillery line, actually. So a defensive artillery greenskin build here against a Wood Elf infantry rush. Which is great. Which is great indeed. Yeah, the whole Jean LaBelle Steven Seagal story is really funny. But, you know, in Steven Seagal's defense, Jean LaBelle is actually a really accomplished martial artist. Like, super legit. So, like, there's no shame in being, choked out by Jean LaBelle, right? Like, that... Like, many proficient martial artists would as well. So it's... But yeah, I mean, Steven Seagal thought he could, kick his butt. But come on, Jean LaBelle is a legend. All right, guys. It is a funky greenskin build, but it's definitely very designed against the kite. I'm curious to see how it will endure the rush. Grom the Paunch is the saving grace here, I think, because he is really good against these types of infantry. Yeah. Yeah, Michael Isaac, good to hear, man. Good to hear. Good to hear indeed. Morgub's Magi Marauders, are they here? You don't really need them as much in this matchup because you don't need a ton of AP against Wood Elves. So just going for regular Spider Riders is probably totally fine, to be honest. What are they saying? Okay, yeah, apparently there was some issue with the start game button. All right, my friends, the Deepwood Scouts advance. They have more range than the Forest Goblin Spider Riders, so should be able to force them back. So the skirmishing phase of the Greenskins should be lightly, more or less irrelevant. Because the Wood Elves with proper micro should be able to use Deepwood Scouts to just keep them at bay. As long as, like, you know, Zablasky rotates these guys back and keeps them away, like, this should be some fat damage for sure. Swift Shiver Shards hit like trucks. Granted, most of the shots were dodged. A really good reaction by Outer Region. But what the Greenskins are really going to shine here is using their Rock Lobbers to just pelt the Deepwood Scouts and the advancing troops. Oh, dude, I love Will Sasso, Steven Seagal skit. Sorry, I was, like, focusing on commentary, then I saw the Will Sasso comment, and I'm like, oh my god, it's such a perfect parody of Steven Seagal. It's so good. But yeah, here goes the Spider Riders poking about. Now I'm truly focused. We're back in business here. There have been a ton of Wood Elves today, but that is largely due to the fact that Zyphos and Zablasky are both like Wood Elf mains, and they happen to be in the stream. So yeah, of course, it really depends on the players who are playing in your event. Forest Goblin Spider Rider Archers are pulling back at this point. Wavering. 1800, 1700... 1650, 1500, 1400, dropping an HP pretty quick. Those Swift Shiver Shards making them goblins shiver on top of their spiders. But now the Wood Elf battle lines are coming in, and I don't know how well basic Night Goblins. They're not even the Fanatics, so they don't have the really cool ball and chain. But I mean, you know, they got 50 leadership, which is something. Certainly, War Dancers will cut them to pieces. And now the Greenskins are actually getting some good skirmishing here, able to do some you know, topical damage here against the War Dancers. So certainly not terrible. And Grom the Paunch could come in, cause some disruption. Grom the Paunch is very good, because even if he gets focused a little bit, he's got healing, he's got the Lucky Banner. He's very, very tough to kill. Grom the Paunch, probably one of my favorite lords here for the Greenskins. So, charging in, poking, but now being forced back by the Sisters of Thorn. Of course, Grom the Paunch is a chariot, so he's not going to be super happy to be hunted by these high mass characters. But now comes the big Chungus, the Ancient Tree Men plus all the Dryads and the flanking pressure. Like, this is going to be a really, really tough one for the Greenskins to hold, in my opinion. Outer Region does have Savage Orc Biggins in the back who will crump Sisters or War Dancers. Like, it'll be a mutual crumping, like crumping back and forth for sure. But Grom the Paunch here able to get a good hold. He actually locks up the Sisters in combat and, like, you know, takes the charge. And now he's using all these Spider Riders and other assets here to really just pound down into the Sisters of Thorn. Leroy Kidd, welcome to the Dukes of Haggard. Really appreciate that, man. Welcome and enjoy your emojis. Again, really appreciate your support. And hopefully you're enjoying these glorious battles indeed. Yeah, Grom is a nightmare to snipe. 100% true. He's kiting well. He's got 80 melee attack right now with the Lucky Banner popped and also massive ward save. And the Sisters are being torn down, but like I said, Dryads wrecking the Goblins here on the far side. War Dancers wrecking the Goblins. And now these guys are beelining into the Savage Orcs, who are the last line of defense here. But the Sisters are like, screw that shit. Like, dude, imagine looking like down this charge, like fighting these guys. Holy shit, that would suck so bad to have to charge into Savage Orc Biggins. Like, just the ruthlessness and the brutality. Like, oh god, I feel bad for Empire State troops just thinking about it. But yeah, the last line of defense has been poured in here, the Savage Orc Biggins, but very wisely. The Wood Elves, using their mobility, do pull back, and now the Deepwood Scouts can just shoot into the advancing Savage Orcs and do, you know, potentially lethal damage. Savage Orcs are very weak against missile attacks, and on top of that, the Deepwood Scouts do magic damage. In Savage Orcs, their only defense really is their physical resist from, you know, the war paint they put on themselves. So yeah, they're really, really weak to those type of units. Over here, we have some Eternal Guard chasing down the Greenskin Skirmishers. For the most part, the Goblins are buckling across the board, but Grom the Paunch is still going deep, and some of the Savage Orc Biggins have been able to permeate into the front line, fighting Sisters, which is great, and of course cutting into chaff units, which is exceptional indeed. A Biggin probably weighs over 400 pounds. Yeah, they're like jacked with muscle too. It's like, it'd be like fighting like Half-Thor Bjornsson, like who is trained in that type of combat with like dual wielding just like cleavers. You know, like, isn't Half-Thor Bjornsson like 400 pounds? Like, a Savage Orc Biggin is probably as big as Half-Thor Bjornsson, right? Like 100%. Crazy shit. All right, King, I'll take a look. As long as it's stream friendly, I will. So we got the Savage Orc Biggins here, battling with these War Dancers in the back line. For the most part, the Greenskin Artillery was functional a moment ago, but now some War Dancers have slipped in. And of course, these artillery stations are manned by goblins, so they're not going to have a great time. But Grom the Paunch trying to liberate this, but War Dancers and these other units, of course, are very, very strong in combat. So I don't know why the bounce power is so even, honestly. I feel like the Greenskins are in a bunch of trouble with the artillery positions being compromised. I mean, I guess, you know what? Oh, look at this. Tactical reserves here from Outer Region. I did not see these. So Outer Region, apparently, I don't know if he forgot about these, but he had Forest Goblin Spider Riders hiding in the trees back here the whole time. 3 of them. I felt like his army was a little bit small. So yeah, Forest Goblin Spider Riders here are in business, and that's actually a substantial force to have to deal with. Spider Riders aren't like huge DPS units, but with cycle charging and supporting some of these units with their poison, that could actually be really, really scary for sure. Grom the Paunch rotating up and about here, and we do have the Forest Goblin Spider Riders pushing in. This is going to make a big difference in the battle. I couldn't understand why it was like looking okay for Greenskins. I felt like Zablasky was winning, but now that the Spider Riders are back and some of the Greenskin skirmishers are still here as well, and Goblins maybe can come back, you know, it could be a whole different picture here. Lucky Banner activated here on Grom the Paunch. You can see here his melee attack quite high at 80, and of course he's healing himself and does have the 44% ward save, which helps him, or 40%, which does help against magic damage, physical damage, any type of damage. But the Ancient Tree Man slapping at Grom the Paunch right in his fat belly right there, and the dreaded tactical reserves are now pouring in. And suddenly, you know, the Deepwood Scouts are being swarmed by Spider Riders. You know, tactical reserves, of course, it is a mistake. But on that same note, if you go through an entire game not seeing that unit, you're like, okay, I don't need to account for that. I cannot defend my back line. And then suddenly, you know, all the Deepwood Scouts back here are being hunted, right? And Grom the Paunch is going crazy. I think Greenskins are going to win this. I think the mobile units are going to kill everything. Grom the Paunch will cycle charge all these guys. And then the Tree Man will probably, you know, have to duel Grom. I actually think Outer Region might be able to win this with the dreaded tactical reserves. Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty crazy stuff, man. Here we do have Forest Goblin Spider Riders going about. Grom the Paunch able to break those Wild Riders. A healthy group of Dryads here, but the Greenskins are pulling ahead. Grom is so damn good at killing infantry. He has like a really weird attack box where he like hits like from all sides and in the front too. Like he's really, really powerful in sustained combat. Shaquille O'Neal, would he be like... Shaquille O'Neal would probably be like the size of like a war boss, right? Like Grimgor is probably like Shaq's height, right? But yeah, Zablasky's losing this game now. Grom the Paunch able to surround this Tree Man, and I'm telling you, if that Tree Man breaks, this shit is over. There's still Savagoric Biggins in here as well, who are buffed by Degraduns is here, and they have anti-large. They're bringing down the tree, and Spider Riders, you know, should be able to win against a couple Sisters of Thorn, and the Dryads could make a big difference coming back in, but I think the Tree Man really using his last tools here, overcasting a regrowth, using Scroll of Shielding. Holy shit, man. That is some wild stuff. I cannot believe Outer Region came back. Like, I thought his front line getting wrecked like that was just going to be game blouses, but apparently not, man. Apparently not. The Spider Riders of Rohan have come, yes. Just having a little goblin riding in front of them, giving a rousing speech. But yeah, the Ancient Tree Man is, yeah, he's holding firm. I mean, maybe a mass terror out, but the thing is, the Giant River Troll Hag is here as well. Grimgor is like 4 feet taller than Shaq. Holy shit, that's scary. Yeah, but the Giant River Troll Hag, of course, is a really good AP monster. And, you know, is durable against a Tree Man as well. Dryads coming in maybe could do something, like break down this formation. I think Grom should probably disengage and go start running them over. And yeah, you can see that immediately, that Outer Region. It's going to be jumping over here and riding into these guys. Grom the Paunch waving that giant axe of his, doing his thing. Yeah. There they go, riding through those forces. Don't worry, guys. We'll pull up the King of the Dead wrestling photos after this. It has to happen. Forest Goblin Spider Riders swarming in. I think the Dryads are not going to like being fully surrounded and poisoned also. Yeah, it's got to be over. Dude, there's so many Spider Riders here. Oh my god, talk about arachnophobia, man. That is a lot of spiders. They're not immune to psychology, so they could be frenzied off. Or, not frenzied off, but terror routed. Spirit Leech coming down quite nice. I actually thought Spirit Leech might be used on these Dryads because it would probably break them, to be honest. But I think they're just going to have natural breaks because Grom the Paunch is just going belly deep in these guys. He's just riding through nonstop. And his buffs are really good, too. Leadership, melee attack, base weapon damage. That adds up, you know. Those Dryads are broken, and I think that's it. The Ancient Tree Man is just a matter of time now. Grom the Paunch and the River Troll Hag are taking almost no damage in these trades. And if you look around the map, it's a barren wasteland, man. There is no hard wood to be found. This day we feast on bark. Yeah, apparently so. Ancient Tree Man here, 110 armor. He's very durable against such attacks, but the River Troll Hag is clubbing that Ancient Tree Man with her sack of meat. And Zablaski's going to be withdrawing. Well played. Well played indeed, my friends. Outer Region with the comeback victory, dude. That was a great scrap. So Zablaski will be our current King of the Hill. We got to update this. Zablaski with 2. I feel like nobody can get past 2 today. And now we have Outer Region. Let's go ahead and update this. Looks good. All right, so you guys wanted to see King of the Dead's wrestling photos? Holy shit, that's epic as hell, dude. Oh, King, that is so badass. I think we'll go with the second photo. You look regal in that. So cool. Yeah. The tactical reserves, that's what they're talking about. So next up we have King of the Dead. So when King joins, we'll pull up his picture as a glorious celebration here. Thank you, man. All right, King, you're up. Very good. Okay, so if you guys want a preview of the Dark Lord who's coming here, let me get the photo here on my desktop. So King of the Dead does do wrestling, like WWE style wrestling, apparently. King of the Dead final. Here it comes, guys. You ready for the glory? Here's the mighty King of the Dead in his wrestling outfit. He has given me permission to share this on stream. There you go. That is King of the Dead. As he self-proclaims the thickest of them all. I think he deserves to be. That outfit is so cool, dude. The freaking king on the front with the crown and like the whole cape. Holy shit, man. It's so great. It's like some Viking warlord there. All right, so we got King of the Dead here. Oh man, that's really cool. So he can be up here with King for now. All right, that's enough for now. That picture's amazing, dude. Oh man. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that. Outer Region says, "Oh no, my reign is threatened already." Dude, how glorious is that, guys? What a hero he is. Yeah. You need a chopper like the Undertaker, then you're good. All right, so let me go ahead and update this. How long have we been streaming, by the way? 2.5 hours. Okay, so we'll probably wrap up in like 20 minutes or so. We'll get to the last games. 10 out of 10 would get pinned again. For sure, dude. Now, King, what is your signature move called? Is it called like the Crown Breaker or like, you know, the the King's Judgment? You got to have a sweet name for that. You have different capes, you said? Oh, that's badass, dude. The hero we need, but the hero we don't deserve. I agree, dude. King, I would totally watch you in WWE, man. You would be my favorite. Chops are one of your favorite moves? Okay, fair play. Dude, the cape is so glorious with the crown and the whole works. So King's game crashed, so he's going to be on his way back now. We'll see if he can lag his opponent to death and then go in for the death blow once they're weakened. His classic tactic. All right. The chop and drop. Dude, King, you got to have a signature move, dude. The dethroner. Drazith Darkwood just nailed that. It's bend the knee or the dethroner. Well, King, what are they called, man? We got to come up with it now. I think chat's regicide. Chat's giving you so many great ideas here, dude. There's so many good ideas. I like the dethroner though. That's my favorite. Just slaying the other kings, dude. Regicide, dethroner, bend the knees. Those are all really good. Elmeri, yeah, and Shogun too, they did have some. I wouldn't want things on the map that gave buffs, but I wouldn't mind having potentially a capturable objective if somebody's draw kiting you, like something you can just go to and end the game. Samuel Christensen says, Happy Friday. Thank you so much, man. And guys, we're going to have 2 days of back-to-back streaming, as we will be streaming tomorrow as well. The Kingslayer, yeah, Kingslayer is good too. Outer Region, King's game crashed. He just had to reboot it, and he's got a potato PC, so just give it a minute there. Grabbing some water. Oh, man. Okay, King of the Dead says his signature move is called the Embrace of Royalty. That's pretty good, too. That's a bear hug, and then the King Slam, which is the world's strongest slam. The King Slam and the Embrace of Royalty. King Slam is your finisher. I like the Embrace of Royalty. That's actually really good. Oh, God. My God, he's caught in the Embrace of Royalty. I could totally see some dude yelling that. Yeah. All right, King is back. We need to switch the map, so we'll do a little Glacial Lake action. Glacial Lake. It's around here somewhere. It's like, is it the Glacial Lake or is it Glacial Lake? I can't remember. I always get this one wrong. The Glacial Lake? I think it's just Glacial Lake. I always like miss this map here. Yeah, there it is. Cool. Map set. Outer Region goes Empire, Vampire, it's Norska. Cool. Yeah. For the Everchosen is 80 people. So how it works, Vero, is that there's qualifiers for the Everchosen. So if you win, you're one of the 8 people who compete. So the Everchosen, like, actual event, whenever it happens, will just be 8 people. Yeah. Big McJones, Warhammer Total War, Cathay, whenever. I'd dig that, man. King, are you wearing your wrestling outfit right now? Is it happening? Do you have your crown on, ready to dethrone Outer Region? Dude, the dethroner? Oh, yeah. Hey, Big McJones, thank you so much for your donation there, bud. Means a lot. Oh, hi, doggy. It's just his normal clothes. Is that just how you dress all the time? Fair play. So we got Norska versus the dinosaurs from King of the Dead. I think we're going to get some lizard play. I don't think we've had lizards today. Yeah, I feel like King I could be like your the Paul guy. Paul Heyman, I think is his name, for Brock Lesnar. I think you need like a court jester to like accompany you to the ring, you know? And like when you get upset, you just like throw him around. We need to find you a court jester. You need to have like a whole council accompany you to the ring, and like someone like the court jester could be like carrying your cape as it like goes across the floor. Yeah. Old Spaghetti. Yeah, you'll probably be able to play. Yes. I'm gonna do JK, and then after the next game, you'll probably potentially be the last one, Moles. We'll see. Yeah. King of the Dead is ready with his dinos against the Norskins. I actually had a couple really fun games versus King the other day. They'll be going up on the channel soon-ish. Some of them will. The King's Court, yeah. The King's Court indeed is here. What will Outer Region bring? Outer Region had an amazing game versus Sablaski just now. Also, guys, thank you for joining Dukes of Haggard today. I know we got a bunch of new members, so welcome, guys. Welcome, welcome. You will join the Court of the Dead. Oh, yeah. What kind of unit do you think Wood Elves will get when they ever decide to update them? I actually don't know too much what they're missing from their tabletop. I've never been super interested in the Elvish factions. I mean, who do you have? You have like Ariel, I think. You have like the Sisters of Twilight, Drycha, like Dryad kind of special unit type things. I don't know. Yeah, Gok Them, something like that could work. But that would favor certain factions, you know? Like, if a faction could just sit on that, like dwarves, and defend it, then, you know. Long may he reign. So now we have Outer Region versus the Challenger King of the Hill. Will he be using the dreaded Dethroner? We will see. Oh yeah, Glacial Lake, always a fun spot in my heart. Although in the early days of Warhammer, it was pretty annoying because people used to just deploy on this hill and like corner camp. Of course, our rules do dissuade that, but that was many nightmares on ladder have hearkened from that situation. Yeah, and CA has made new units. I mean, like Celostra is 100% new. Like they could make some new units up, and I'm sure it'd be totally fine. And anything they do make up, right? I'm sure they get the green light from Games Workshop on. So. Oh yeah. Yeah, the Wood Elf campaign is god awful right now. All right, guys, here we go. So let's go ahead and take a look at the armies here. For Outer Region, he's got Wulfric, he's got a Metal Caster with Final Transmutation, going for the big fat nukes, actually. Plague of Rust, of course, really good synergy with Javelins. Aside from that, whole front line's going to be Marauders and Champions. Champions actually outtrade most Lizard Infantry. Might lose the Temple Guard, but aside from that, very functional. Brutes of the Hound, and that is it. Javelin's very good against big monsters. Also decent against Pterodon Riders, but it depends on how many Pterodon Riders we're talking about. We will see. And a couple of Condom Wolves on the far side. Not couple, but just one Skin Wolf there. So trying to sell those condoms here to the Lizardmen. So King of the Dead going to be coming in with the dreaded Temple Guard box. So very defensive, going with a Salon of Light. So what you do here is you basically just cast Barona's Time Warp. Then suddenly all your Star Chamber Guardians get sauced up and tons of melee attack. And it's really effective for sure. Ryan G, the only actual missing unit from the roster are Zotes and Feral Stags. Okay. So yeah, they're probably going to have to make some stuff up, I would imagine. A Bastillodon with a Solar Engine, a T-Rex in the back, Spears and Skink Javelins for support, and Pterodons for backline disruption and to chase things off the battlefield. So, no, there actually are two Condom Wolves. There's one on this side and one on the far side as well. So here we go. It is time, my friends. Let there be battle. The Marauder Hunters with Javelins are going to be the prime target here for the Bastillodon because they, of course, can focus down the Slon, the T-Rex, the Solar Engine with the proper support. But triple Pterodon Riders should be able to really deal well with the Marauders, especially if you get a good rock drop. Like one good rock drop plus like a little focus fire, you can probably break them. Oh, there's the rock drop. Nice one right there. Able to get those guys running at least. They partially dodged it. It wasn't like a square hit, but still not bad by any stretch. And here comes another drop from those Pterodon Riders. Nice right there. Those guys got dropped on real good like, and now the Pterodons are attacking in melee. So far so good for those guys. So now the Big Mammoth and the boys are advancing towards the Temple Guard box, but they're certainly going to need some help. Wulfric does have Seafang. Final Transmutation will be really gross here too. If he drops it on like the Feral Carnosaur, like right in the middle of this, that could be an extremely devastating play. So we'll see how that unfolds. But so far, King with some really good harass. Although, you know, it's back and forth. A Pterodon Rider trading for Marauder Hunter Javelin here is you know, a relatively even trade. But yeah, the Javelins like aren't over here functional, like firing into the front line, right? They're not doing their thing here. So in the back, we do have the Hounds as well as the Condom Wolves charging into the Skink cohorts. Definitely an appropriate play, but they do also take a ton of Javelins to the face on the approach. And Wulfric has gotten in there, and he is going to be fighting a Feral Carnosaur. But what's happening here is Wulfric is being used with the classic bait. So Outer Region sending it in. Now there's going to be a big Final Transmutation, and it should nail the Slon. He probably should have waited for the Shield of the Old Ones to dissipate, but nonetheless, it's doing some good damage. It hits the Carnosaur, but yeah, it only got these two units, but Wulfric, man, is going deep. He is just going all in to kill King of the Dead's Slon here. Skinks are holding relatively well. Spears in the back, able to support those Skinks to defeat those Skin Wolves, and the Javelins of Norska are advancing in and pushing off some of the Pterodons. But so far, the Slon is doing well. It's barely taken any damage, and Wulfric is now netted by the Salon of Light, and there is a big T-Rex going after this boy. So you can see quite a size discrepancy, but the Feral Carnosaur is no joke, and he is an anti-large monster, and Wulfric is certainly looking to be in trouble. As far as the game goes, I think King is in a pretty commanding position. The Final Transmutation Gambit did not go exactly as planned, didn't seem to do that much damage. It only kind of caught like half of the Carnosaur's duration, plus also like a little bit on the Slon. But the Slons are, you know, they have big HP pools. They're actually really tough to bring down. On top of that, Temple Guard are beating the brakes off Marauders and holding their own against Brutes of the Hound here. And the Lizards seem to have a lot of stuff left on the battlefield, to be honest, especially with these big boys here. Slon Mage of Light being attacked by some of the Condom Wolves. Outer Region pushing in. We did see Outer Region, of course, behind in the last game. It scrapped back extremely well, so certainly could be a thing here. And the Temple Guard are holding very well. Still have 68 Temple Guard right here, but you know what would have to happen is like maybe if Norska can isolate this Feral Carnosaur here. Yeah, this is a good play here by Outer Region. actually able to get the Norskin Wolves in and trap the Feral Carno. Like, if that Carno goes and the Mammoth is still alive, the Mammoth is the rock, paper, scissors counter against Temple Guard. Like, he can run them over and cycle charge them. But with the Feral Carnosaur being around, it's just too tough to, you know, get away with that, really. But the Feral Carno is given Faw's protection, and Plague of Rust also used, but able to escape, so not really going to be punished too badly for that. And now the big T-Rex is going to be hunting down the Wolfric. Still some light Norskin fighting in the backline. Pterodon Riders are shutting down Javelins, so pretty much this entire game, the Javelins have not been able to fight. Pterodon Riders have just been cackling and shutting them down, and certainly have been doing an exceptional job of doing that. Balance of Power is pretty much point of no return. Too many Temple Guard, you know, too many big dinos left, and the Solar Engine, Pterodons are still going. That is going to be that. GG, King of the Dead, using the dethroner there, and claiming his throne. Yes. Very good. So King is going to be up there. We will do the abbreviation of the name. Very good. All you got to do is beat Zablaski's too. I mean, a couple people got 2, but next we have JK. So JK, you're up next. There we go. Perfect. Outstanding. Now we just got to wait for JK. I mean, I got to be king for a little bit after those picks. By the way, Turin, you can use them as army blockers when I'm playing. Okay, sounds good. So you guys want King of the Dead to be used here? The dreaded King of the Dead army blocker. Look at this. The majesty here. The pride. So King has asked that his likeness be used as the army blocker while he's playing, and we have to obey the decree of the king here. All right, so we got a Beast Jack here. Hail to the king, baby. I know, it was a good game. Trogdor says, Turin, trying to broaden my faction since I want to get into some tournaments, and I've decided to learn lizards. They're pretty good. If you want to learn lizards, I would honestly take a look at Felcon's army guide on YouTube. So just search Felcon on YouTube and look at his army guide, the Lizardmen section. Lizardmen are one of my weakest factions. So, I mean, I have a topical understanding of them and I can win games with them, but I would take a look at those builds, and he really discusses the matchups and everything. It's a really, really good source of information. But you'd have to be more specific and give me matchups. And if you do, I can then answer your question pertaining to how to play lizards and whatnot. So, all right. King of the Dead is here as our screen blocker for today. We got to change the map. So we got Chaos versus Tomb Kings. This is a fun matchup. King really likes to use his Necropolis Knights here. This is actually a matchup that is favored for Chaos, so I think many people think that. Hey, you're welcome, Chogdor. They're saying it looks as if he stares far into the distance, embracing his entire realm with his gaze. Yeah, the warm embrace. A truly majestic king. Yeah, lizards are a fun faction. They have a lot of diverse playstyles too. You can do like infantry rushes, you can go like full kite, you can go monster mash. Lizards do have a wide range of playstyles. They're certainly a good faction to get good at. I think they're badass. So yeah. All right, looks like the Beast Jack making the final sets there to the army, and then the Beast Jack will be ready to go. Well, King, I hope you try and qualify for Everchosen. We have 4 qualifiers, so you have 4 shots at it. Yeah. That'd be a lot of fun. Oh man, these shoulders are getting nice and tense. Hold on, guys. I'm just standing back from the mic and doing a couple stretches here. You're painting your Alpha Legion, Osmandius, during the stream. That's cool. Alpha Legion's really, really easy to paint. If you're using contrasts, you can use the turquoise or the blues. And yeah, Alpha Legion's really good too. Oh. Stretching the old guns out. All right, Bastalian Tomb is the map. Beast Jack versus King of the Dead. Look, Turin, everything the light touches is our kingdom. Oh my god. Alright, so you just picked up the Tomb Kings DLC. How do I use Stalkers more effectively? Greetings from Germany. So Stalkers are best used as like a defensive unit, in my opinion, or like a supporting secondary line unit. So since they're hidden, your opponent will often try and get into your skeleton archers and Ushabti great bows and caskets with like lords or cav, and then you can ambush them with the Stalkers. I prefer to use Stalkers in defensive builds. In offensive builds, they can certainly do work, but I think they really shine when you can ambush people defensively. So just keeping them in your secondary line and using them to fend off heavy cav and enemy single entities and things like that with their missile attacks, and fight them in melee if need be. Alright guys, King of the Dead. We'll say farewell for now and be back for... If he wins this game, he'll keep blocking the screen with his glorious majesty. Alright guys, the battle is on. Will King of the Dead tie for the King of the Hill champion today? All you need to do is get 2. So we'll see how this goes. So how this is going to work here is we're going to have King of the Dead play this match against JK. And the winner of this will play until they lose to determine the overall winner. So that'll be that. All they have to do is beat 2. So it'll be Mole Spaghetti will play next game, and that will probably be towards the end there. All right, guys. So for King, he's got a casket. He does also have a Tomb Prince and Ark in the Black, a classic little kit of characters and monsters here. Tomb Prince is pretty good. They do have a rampage effect, anti-large and armor piercing, and Arkin, of course, is just like one of the best lords in the game. He's so good. Frontline here is going to be Tomb Guard, pretty elite infantry actually, because many Chaos players do just spam Marauders and things like that. So having Tomb Guard to beat them down is good. Skeleton Spears and double Necropolis Knight. At the end of the day, this is really a casket build. The casket is the epicenter of the build. It forces Chaos in, at which point they get countercharged by Necropolis Knight. So that's that. That is that indeed. And we do have Carrion all into the sunset to chase things down and party. And now for the forces of the Beast Jack. The Beast Jack has Chaos Warriors with Halberds and Mirror Guard, very elite infantry, which certainly can be functional, but the problem being is that casket will wreck them. Spawn are exceptional against Tomb Guard. They cut through all the Tomb King's infantry super quick. Summoners of Rage, Archeon the Everchosen with Fireball and Burning Head, really, really good picks there. I definitely agree. Exalted Hero and Marauder Horsemen are throwing axes to help deal with constructs. So, yeah, solid builds by both players, to be honest. Could go either way. Depends on the micro, of course, and the execution of their various strategies, but we will see how this unfolds. We'll see how this unfolds. Oh, is the casket going to be shooting into the trees? Let's see. It should get up and over right there. The casket has a really, like, steep arc of fire. So King of the Lag sending in his Carrion to chase down the Marauder Horseman. Looks like he was able to get those, but yeah, it looks like he had no problems with the casket. And yeah, Mirror Guard gonna get pounded. Oh, those poor halberds. And yeah, Carrion are obviously not terrible in combat, but Marauder Horsemen in great numbers can overwhelm them, especially since they're throwing our axes at the same time. In the meantime, King sending over some Skeleton Horsemen to charge those Marauder Horsemen. Got to be careful though. Don't want to get too embroiled near the spawn and those other assets. Fireball going down from Archeon the Everchosen, Lord of the End Times. Fireball coming in hot. And does nuke that Casket of Souls. It's pretty good damage. I mean, if you just keep that up over the course of the game, the casket can be brought down simply by using fireballs and things like that. So there's something to be said about that. Anyway, some light dueling over here. The Skeleton Horsemen have engaged and are doing great damage, but they're about to be ganked here by the Summoners of Rage, who will pound them back to the dust from whence they came. Summoners of Rage are an excellent anti-large unit. Certainly pack a big punch. They also have a free chain lightning, which can be useful against Tomb King's boxes and things like that. So we'll see. So as far as the trading being worth it, 1 unit of Skeleton Horsemen traded for half HP. I would say maybe a slight advantage for Chaos in that trade, but not super significant. Well, not super significant because the casket is also dropping some fat payloads here on these guys. Oh, yeah, man, the Mirror Guard are getting just grinded to dust, man. The Casket of Souls, such a nasty piece of equipment. In the meantime, Marauder Horsemen flying here, using some of their throwing axes, flying up the hill, metaphorically speaking. Using their throwing axes to go after Ark in the Black, and we have the Mirror Guard charging in. Chaos Spawn going to be getting in there and cutting through some of them Tomb Guard, but the Sneaky Snake Cav are going to be countercharging, providing mass poison and hard-hitting damage against those Spawn. So the Spawn definitely takes some big damage on the impact, and they're not poisoned also, which is significant. Ark in the Black using a Skeleton Summon to halt the advance of these Chaos Warriors with Halberds. Archeon needs to start getting some good Burning Heads for sure. Burning Heads onto Tomb Guard is super cost-effective, and one of the reasons why Archeon is so good in this matchup. As a matter of fact, Archeon seems to be trying to get into the back line. Very risky, though, with all the Necropolis Knights back here, but he does engage the Necropolis Knights in combat. And Chaos is slowly grinding through the front line, but the Sneaky Snake Cab are holding well. And oh, it looks like the Exalted Hero going for an assassination attempt on Arkan. A bit of a bold strategy as King is able to grab all his Necropolis Knights, pull back in, and the Tomb Prince is coming as well. Liber Mortis is also used to give a big physical resist to these guys. Oh, and here comes the Burning Head. Let's watch it. Coming down the ranks, Tomb Guard gets Shrek'd pretty good. Skeleton Warriors get Shrek'd even worse. And it even clips the Carrion on the way out. That was quite a good Burning Head there by JK. So we'll see. I mean, the Sneaky Snake Cav are doing really well. The Exalted Hero being punished horribly in the back lines. Archeon is more or less in good shape. He's kind of like trapped among spears, which is kind of awkward since he's so powerful and could be so much more useful elsewhere. But yeah, it seems like King is a little bit ahead. I mean, getting the very expensive Exalted Hero down is very, very good. His Cav are healthy. And the Casket of Souls has been able to unleash some brutal damage against the Chaos Infantry. Nice rear charge there from those Carrion. Able to get onto the Mirror Guard here. Yeah, you can see leadership is low, but Mirror Guard are Slaanesh's chosen there. So they're going to be holding for a while longer than the basic troop. Summoners of Rage are at 10 leadership. They definitely need to get back behind the Halberds because they are taking a lot of damage from those cycle charges. And the Chain Lightning, really nice cast there by Summoners of Rage. Able to wreck those skeleton spears, but something to write home about. But yeah, Archeon's kind of like the last bastion of his people. If you really look, King's Casket has been able to dismantle this infantry corps. And the Necropolis Knight cycle charging has destroyed the spawn and also outmanned the big Chaos monster. So there you have it, guys. It's looking to be a Burning Head going. I think he accidentally casted the wrong way because there was nothing over there. It was just the wasteland. We do have the Exalted Hero coming back to maybe hunt out and goon down one of these characters, but JK is going to withdraw knowing that King has won the game at that point. It was pretty much over, but well played. It was a fun match. It was fast. It was furious. Just how we like it here. And King of the Dead is going to be our, continue to be the king, as you can see here. Glorious stuff indeed. True hero of his people. So next we have Mole Spaghetti. So Moles is going to be the last lad here, and he'll either end the stream, or if King wins, the stream will be over. So let me get this. I wish I could stream for 6-8 hours and just do King of the Hill all day. Alas. GG, well played. It was a great game, JK. You played great, man. Your build was good. Just a couple of the engagements against the Snake Cab were rough, and your Summoners of Rage had some problems too, it looked like. Alpine Ridge. Yes, let us do this map. Very cool. The casket was brutal as usual. All hail King Thick Boy. Is that what's going on here? Oh, man. And this maliciously smirk, clearly heralding his next victory on the battlefield, he bends the knee. Oh, my God. We haven't seen too much Kotip action, but Arkan the Black is so good. He's, like, so good that it's, like, so hard to pick other lords. Cetra is, like, Cetra can be good as well, but Arkan is, like, so powerful. So if King wins this, the stream is over. He'll have won 3 games, which is more than anyone on stream today. If Mole Spaghetti is able to defeat King, he will dethrone King of the Dead, and we'll have a tie for second. A tie for between a couple folks for the current throne. Mole Spaghetti is banning Tomb Kings and picking High Elves. Okay. So we got High Elves versus either Norska or Lizardmen. I would expect a Norscan pick here from King. Norska is historically quite good against High Elves in my experience. There's somebody behind you in that picture, King? What are you talking about? Oh, yeah, there's somebody sitting at that desk behind you. Yeah. For sure. The conspiracy goes on. Is that the guy who pulls your lag switch when you're losing games and you just need to lag your opponent? I think it's the case. Release Falcon and the Hydra. Falcon did not enter today, actually, to play in today's King of the Hill. We had quite a few entries. I think like 25, 26. We've gotten through about half of them, so. Hey, we have an intruder in the lobby. You gotta sign up in Discord. It's weird, like, I can't make no spectator slots. we have an intruder. Not in the beginning. I don't even want to be typing here. What's that, guys? Can you learn? All right, cool. So we've talked to him. Hopefully he'll leave the lobby so I don't have to rehost it. Biomenace. But yeah, if you want to join future King of the Hills, bud, you need to just, like when I make the announcement, you need to, there's a 10-minute window to sign up. And from there, I do a randomly generated list, and the folks who are on the top of that list are selected. So I hope to see you, man. Yes, it is I, yes. I can't, what? Thank you, man. Let's chat in Discord. Need to get this going. No worries, man. It's good to meet you as well. I really let myself go after losing the mullet, I know. Well, that is the mighty King of the Dead. It is indeed. I might have to rehost the lobby, unfortunately. Oh my god. Come on, man. If you're my friend. Like, I don't know why the spectator can't boot from the lobby, too. The game is about ready. No, sis. Could you please leave the lobby? Would really appreciate it. I'll try diplomacy. Sir, this is a Wendy's? What? It's just evolving into anarchy. Okay. Thank you, man. Well, Gnosis, I hope to have you in future King of the Hills, but to play, you got to sign up in the Discord. And we basically need to, you need to sign up in the window and then be on the list that gets randomly generated. So no worries, man. Yeah, he was just trying to communicate and, you know, figure out the King of the Hills situation. But I hope to get you in the future, man. Thank you for leaving the lobby so we could get this party started. All right. You can kick people from spectators? I don't think you can. All right. Mole Spaghetti, King of the Dead, about ready to go. Next to the spectator things, I don't know if there is, King. I've had problems with it where it didn't let me kick people from the spectator slots. Yeah. I'm sure we'll see the great legend soon. Oh, it's been a day, my friends. Life's all about diplomacy, man. You know, there's no time for holding on to hatred and grudges. And though I do love dwarf culture and think it's hilarious, but for myself personally, we're talking philosophy. All right, guys. King of the Dead has adorned our screen for quite some time in his wrestling outfit. If we ever have a wrestling duel, that will be what he'll wear, and we'll go from there. Okay, yeah, I'll check it out, Valkanos. Thank you so much. All right, guys. This is the battle. Will Mole Spaghetti be the usurper? Will he dethrone the King of the Dead? Or will the King win today's stream, win today's King of the Hill with 3 mighty wins? Certainly find out here on the next episode. King just saying please in all caps. That's a grudgin'. All right, guys. Oh my god, leaving it up all game would have been really, really funny, actually. So for the forces here of King, he's got a Marauder line, so it's going to be... the reason why he brought Marauder champions is to deal with Silver and Guard, and also with their armor, they can beat down pretty much most high elf infantry. Like chaff, I'm saying. So yeah, Marauders with great weapons, actually, champs. Or champions with great weapons. Icehorn Marauders. Ice Trolls? What? He's got Marauder chariots, he's got Surtha Ek, he's got Wolfric on a chariot, and the Soul Crusher. This is a weird-ass build, for sure. And of course, it wouldn't be a true King of the Dead build without access to 2 Hound units here. So he's got Beast of Tashnar, plus he does also have Norscan Warhounds. Alright guys, so now for the forces here of the High Elves, we got Mole Spaghetti. He's got Silver and Guard. Silver and Guard, of course, are very good at holding Berserkers, Marauders, but against great weapons, they will die quickly. He's got Rangers, fair amount of basic archers in the back, supported by silver helms to run interference. Mage of Life here from Old Spaghetti. Oh, baby. Tyrion, the Kingslayer. Will he be the Kingslayer? We'll find out. We got a Plague of Ruster, and we got an Earthblood Caster. Honestly, it's a good build. Classic archer build with Plague of Rust. Yeah, the Ice Troll thing, I'm really curious, because I feel like they're just going to get wrecked. I mean, you do have 60 armor, so they're not, like, super lightly armored, but I don't know, man. In order to win this for Norska, they need to get, like, just dank pendulums and sea fangs. Like, that's how you beat high elves with Norska. You drop fat pendulums and sea fangs in their archers, or their front line, and just advance into their back line. There's a couple ways to do it. Good luck, have fun. Let's get this party started, guys. I'm just getting warmed up. We're at the 3 hour and 15 minute mark. Thank you guys for hanging around. King needs a version of the Van Damme finishing move. Well, depends on which Van Damme movie you're talking about. Usually it's some sort of a glorious kick or him doing the splits and punching someone. Yeah. The Bloodsport. Bloodsport was a great movie, man. It was so much fun. I remember watching those in the 90s. Those were the days. All right, guys. Hounds are circling the High Elf army. No surprises here. Mole Spaghetti will 100% be using his Silver Helms. That's what he should do. Just use the Silver Helms to mirror the movement of King's Hounds. In doing that, though, it does open up frontline pressure because you won't have mass to really stop the Mammoth. I mean, Tyrion on horse can get in front of a Mammoth and hold it. Not hold it down, but kind of stop it from really just trouncing through your front line. The reason why King likes to use the Soul Crusher is because it has an ability called Enrage, which gives it a ton of ward save when you use it. So if you guys haven't seen this, let's go ahead and show you. It has 44%, I think. Yeah. So if you focus it, it can pretty much half the damage coming in, and really is quite, quite punishing when it makes it in there. So Marauder Chariots and Cirtha Rick are pulling back here. And here comes the glorious Norscan hordes. Very little damage being done on the advance, obviously. No artillery or anything like that. Oh, a pendulum attempt going down. Really nice play there by Mole Spaghetti. That's the thing. Like, I don't like using pendulums until I've engaged with my opponent. Like, once I'm like in it and he's like microing things, that's when I like to do it. I always find that if I use pendulums like this, unless you're playing someone who's, very new or maybe, hasn't experienced that, it's really tough to get it off here. Anyways, Mole Spaghetti shooting the Marauder Champions. Dropping a Plague of Rust on these guys actually wouldn't be bad at all. But the Norscan Ice Trolls are coming around the flanks, probably going to be used to fight the Silver Helms and allow the Hounds to get into the juicy parts of the army. But yeah, there's a Plague of Rust right there. It's really going to allow those archers to wreck those Marauders, because now they only have 20 armor, so those bad boys are really, really squishy now. Some Chariots do get into the back line, but the Marauder Champions are charging into the Silver and Guard, who do have charged defense against all. So the charged defense against all will be very, very nice for mitigating the offensive aggression of 30 charge bonus on those guys. And yeah, this is going to be a harder one to dodge, right? Because there's so much going on, and you can see it makes contact. Like, when your opponent's microing things, defending, looking around the battlefield, that's when you want to drop those effects. Unless there's just something so juicy, it's worth the risk. Generally speaking, though, waiting is good. Wolfric does also have Sea Fang, so we haven't seen a Sea Fang yet. We have seen 2 Pendulums. It looks like there's going to be some witchcraft here. Oh, Sun Fang from Tyrion! But King of the Dead able to dodge that as well. Very, very well played. So both players certainly playing on point here. Marauder Champions slowly getting through those Silver and Guard, and the Norscan Trolls are kind of just hiding on the wings, taking a lot of firepower. But Big Chungus is in the back line, so the Soul Crusher is definitely causing a lot of disruption amongst the archers. There's Chariots back here, and now Hounds and Trolls are chasing the Silver Helms, which means these Silver Helms are going to be getting frostbitten, which means they can't pursue or retreat, and they are going to be paying the ultimate Norscan Troll toll as these Trolls just club them and the Hounds nip at their heels. Glorious stuff indeed. Soul Crusher still going strong with the Enrage mechanic active here on this side. Mole Spaghetti able to win that flank engagement. Very well played to him. Able to break the Beast of Tashnar and the Norscan Trolls, who might potentially come back, but the Mammoth is running rampant in the battle lines. Front line is a bit of a wash, more or less. Marauder Champions actually are eventually winning against Silver and Guard, but Ice Storm Marauders will lose to Silver and Guard. They just lack the AP and just raw stopping power to get through that, but looking bad for Moles, though. With the Archers getting into the back line, that is, not Archers, excuse me, but Hounds feasting on the Archers, that is a really, really tough situation. There are some Lothern Sea Guards still functional, and Tyrion, of course, is a carry. Tyrion could win this battle by bringing down the monster, because if Soul Crusher goes, then most likely Tyrion will be able to beat the brakes off Wolfric, like 100%. Wolfric's on a chariot, he's not on a mammoth, not really in a combat, type thing, so we'll see how that unfolds. So Mole Spaghetti able to stabilize his backline, very well played. If he hadn't done that, I think he could have been in big trouble. A nice pendulum going down from King there, able to bless those Silver and Guard, and it's like some of them are broken, and Marauder Champions over chasing here. The Chariots definitely need to get busy and start getting into the Archer lines. In the meantime, Wolfric's still just running rampant. A little bit of damage on him, but still 111 freaking kills. Soul Crusher Still crushing souls. It is afflicted by Plague of Rust, which means it's going to have only 10 armor. So yeah, he needs to get busy and shut down these archers, and it looks like the trolls are going to take the first step towards doing that. But Tyrion is certainly a solid troll slayer. For some strange reason, his sword that is literally on fire does not do fire damage, but let us not ask questions about that kind of stuff. And here, Wulfric getting into the archers once again. The backline pressure is relieved as the Norscan trolls are broken off and may actually go off the battlefield this time. They're very, very close to the back edge here, so we will see. Marauders, champions with great weapons piling in. Very well played to both players. Mole Spaghetti has done an excellent job with Tyrion this game, wearing down the Soul Crusher and more or less keeping his archers alive and fending off the Norscan ice trolls here, but there still is a lot of pressure there, and all it takes from the Soul Crusher is a couple nice attacks, and it can do some work, man. It does. Yeah, Tyrion does have the rebirth ability too, so there is a chance that if he focuses Tyrion, he could rebirth. So I think that king needs to like try and kill everything else before he goes for Tyrion. Balance of power a little bit Norscan favored here, as Wulfric is able to keep just racking up the kills, man. 127 here. Pendulums have been good with the exception of the first one. And yeah, Rangers are going to have a terrible time versus Chariots, and there's still, a fair amount of Chariots left here for King. He gets into those archers. These archers are compromised. Tyrion is going to have to carry this game. This Mage of Life is being taken down as well by the Beasts of Tachnar, who are anti-large, and the Mage only has 15 armor, so that's a really, really nice grab. That Mage of Life should be chased off the battlefield. Tyrion, I don't know if Tyrion is that much of a Chad to, like, just carry all this. Like, he might be able to get the Soul Crusher. It depends on the Rebirth ability, like, if that goes off or not. A couple archers have rallied here, but there's still, like, Norscan mobility. We have Hounds, we have Marauder Chariots rampaging and really causing a lot of disruption. You can see Beasts of Tachnar doing the work of the Dark Gods here. Granted, some Silver and Guard might be able to peel them off. We'll see. Time will tell. So, we're watching Tyrion now. He's afflicted by Hunter of Champions, and there's also some Norscan trolls coming in here. And, yeah, the Norscan trolls hit hard, man. They have, like, 120 weapon strength, so they're powerful, man. Tyrion does get broken. I think that's game. Oh, man, Tyrion just got freaking clobbered by those stone trolls, or, excuse me, those ice trolls. Oh, but he gets the rebirth! Look at that dirty rebirth there. God, that ability is so strong. Like, the bounce just went from no return to like, oh, you suddenly have a chance again. Oh my god, that ability is so gnarly. And King of the Dead, obviously realizing that's a big issue, is going to be getting Wulfric to chase him. 78 speed, Tyrion does have 95, so Tyrion might get enough separation from the route to actually come back here. So, yeah, I still think it's too late, but Tyrion getting that heal certainly gives him, like, a sliver of hope, I suppose. Yeah, look at the bounce come back to the middle! Oh my god! High Elf archers are here. Tyrion is back. I mean, if Tyrion comes in and kills Wulfric or the Mammoth, like, maybe like a Sunfang could win the game. Oh my god. That heal is just so freaking strong. Feint and Riposte is here. Melee attack, physical resist, all that sort of good stuff. I don't know why he popped right there. Must have just been an instinct. And the Soul Crusher is freaking broken, guys. It's gone. The Mammoth and the Trolls are gone. Is Tyrion going to carry this? No way. Oh my freaking god. Tyrion! Dude, there's like nothing here is going to kill Tyrion. What are these, like Marauders? I guess there is still a Balefiend. Oh, that was a Sunfang, but I think it was kind of a miscast. He could have done a lot more damage. It's okay, though. He was trying to, like, time it. So now Tyrion is going to be doing battle with the Balefiend. He needs to make sure to finish the Balefiend off. Tyrion is getting worked on a little bit. Balance of power is ebbing back and forth. Tyrion should 100% be, like, hunting an open field. He's got some Silver and Guard coming back here. Some High Elf archers in the forest have rallied, which is actually really bad for Norska. Soul Crusher has 300 HP, so he might actually just stay routed. Wulfric is just like, screw this shit! I don't want to fight Tyrion. Tyrion's on a horse with the mighty Sunfang. Wulfric just standing back here, like, letting his horses do the fighting. Hunter of Champions is really good. Really, really solid. Tyrion is steady. He's at his healing cap from that one freaking rebirth ability. King definitely has to cycle charge. Like, he's got to get that going if he can. And it looks like Plague of Rust is used on Wulfric. Perhaps there's some archers to shoot him. Yeah, it looks like in the trees maybe some archers are going to be poking at Wulfric. Oh, a big pendulum coming down! Oh, look at that! And it wrecks those guys. Tyrion is holding on, but Tyrion is super damaged. -5, the Balefiend gets him. Holy shit, man. What a game. King of the Dead pulls it out. There's no way Hyles can win now. Oh my god, what a battle, dude. I think if Tyrion had been more careful and not gotten caught in a blob there and, like, had cleaned up the Norscan stuff, yeah, and Tyrion gets killed by Wulfric in the end, which is very thematic, actually. I think that Hyles could have won that, maybe, if, like, he hadn't gotten trapped in that weird engagement there. Oh my god. That is crazy. We have a donation from Halt Haltagetten, longtime lurker. All your videos help me get the upper hand on my friends when we play. Hell yeah, dude. No mercy. Strike first, strike hard. No mercy. Cobra Kai. Thank you so much for the donation, man, for the 100 SEK. That's very generous of you, bud. Dude, that was a great freaking game. So with that, King of the Dead will win today's stream. With 3 wins, let us summon the king once more from the deep. His mighty glory shall adorn this stream one last time. Look at the proud face of the king as he wins King of the Hill. Haltagetton, thank you so much for becoming a member of the Dukes of Haggard. That's 5 new members today. Thank you guys so much and welcome. You know, one thing is, you know, YouTube ad revenue can fluctuate, but, you know, the memberships are, you know, really consistent and steady stuff for me. So thank you so much. There you guys have it. King of the Dead is the victor today. Sweep the leg. Dude, I love the Cobra Kai show. It's so good. I binged those 2 seasons in 2 days. I literally watched a season a day. It was so good. Welcome to the Dukes of Haggard, man. That is actually King of the Dead in real life, guys, in his wrestling costume, because he does do WWE-style wrestling, so. Over in Europe. Dude, the Tyrion heel was something, man. All right, guys, that is it for today. Thank you so much for playing. Sorry for those of you guys on the lower end of the list. I simply can't go any longer. I'm too weak. But thank you guys, and make sure to enter next time. I'll do my best to get more people in the future as my hand gets better and better. But today we got through quite a few players. King of the Dead closing it out with a glorious game there at the end. So again, congratulations to King. Also, for those of you guys who missed the announcement, the Everchosen is now going to be a qualifier-based tournament. So you guys have an opportunity to qualify at 1 of 4 events. Dov's event, my event, which will be midweek, my son Herbert Walker the following weekend, or Aerocrastic. You can see all their channels there. And to join these events, you just need to be in the Discord channel and do it to it there. So guys, super hyped. I know the Dukes of Hag, yeah, because King's picture was blocking it. Yeah, King of the Dead is today's winner. Make sure if you guys are interested in playing in these tournaments, you join the Discord, and you know, you can ask any questions there. People will be very, very helpful. It's a great community. So, Cartel Shell, thank you for becoming a member of the Dukes of Haggard. Much appreciated. Your donations are also very generous as well. Thank you, man. Cartel, or not, you're not Cartel. You're Carrot Shell. I don't know why my brain thinks you're Cartel Shell. It's like I just see it. It's like my brain just completing it. Yeah. Carrot Shell. Thank you, man. I'm going to be recording the next podcast this weekend, so I'll probably be recording it on Sunday. So expect it on Monday or Tuesday, and you guys will get the next episode of the podcast. So, Mariusz, yes, hopefully that answers your question. I don't know, man. It's going to be good. All right, lads, that is it for today. Thank you guys so much for your donations. Congratulations to King of the Dead. We had donations coming in across the board from Haltagetton, Ryan G, Big McJones, Samuel Christensen, Will B, Carrot Shell, John Perks, Ryan G, Beast Wheat, Bubba's Big Blast, Dean Learners, Gentlemen's Club, and the Melee Salon, Clint Bet, Ricky A, Get At Mule, Wynand, Michael Isaac, Paul, and Roni. And then, of course, we have new members coming in. Let's go ahead and check that out. From Carrot Shell, Haltagetton, Leroy Kidd, John Perks, and then we also have new members in Paul and Asherai. Thank you guys so much, man. It means a lot. It's spelled carrot. Yeah. I've said it enough that I should just keep going. All right. You let me know how you want me to say it, and I'll do my best. All right, guys. Make sure to tune in for these qualifiers. I'm going to be watching Dobbs. I'm going to be watching all these, so we can watch it together. It's going to be a blast, and it's really going to be awesome to see the community all come together for like a huge event like this. Anyways, guys, thank you so much. Appreciate all of you. It was super fun, and congratulations to King of the Dead for winning today. Long live the king, and we will see you guys next time. Take care.